what's up, YouTube Boxing family? It's K Rod here. I got my brother D Have. Yo, what's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
Not much. How's it going? Um, yeah, we're just gonna chop it up on boxing tonight, and yeah, let's get right to it, man. All right. Yeah. So, what you thought of the Jaime Munguia card?
I only went back and watched the Munguia fight. All the rest of them, I watched some of the highlights, but no, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, Munguia looked worse than usual. I mean, he looked more crisp on his last two fights. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened here. Yeah, I mean, he got the dude out of there in 3 rounds. I'd never heard of the guy, as per usual. I'm not. I don't know. This is a step down for him, to be quite honest. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but he looked like Mungia normally looks. I mean, nothing particularly special, uh, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think much of it. I believe the WBO just ordered him to fight Janabek, so that should be interesting. Hopefully, we can actually get that cracking, and because both of them need that fight, both of them are completely hyped out of their minds, and yeah, we need to see what's what.
Yeah. Salute to you, big dog. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, I agree. Like, I was talking with Stormy B Man about it, and I think like I don't know if you can like agree, but do you feel like today's generation, like in our generation of boxing, is just really like, how should I say it, like there's no like masculinity in men that want to take advantage of being responsible in their careers, because I think like we live in such like a childish era of boxing where a lot of these fighters just be acting like divas at this point. But honestly, what the women are actually doing more work than what the men, and honestly, they're acting more like men, and like compared to the guys that are not acting like real men.
Well, I'll say this: I do agree with you, but I will say that one of the critical differences is that for women's boxing, the reason why women's boxing you get more mega fights is because there are just fewer female boxers in general. Women have, for the most part, different and in some ways less dangerous paths to wealth than female boxers. So that's why you don't see a lot more female boxers. It's just like it's. I had to explain this to someone else. It's kind of like why the reason why you really don't see that many white American boxers anymore is because most white American people have different and less dangerous paths to wealth over time. So like, why box? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Is the same. It's the same thing for women in combat sports, especially if you look good. There are less dangerous ways to wealth and fame than like risking getting the shit beat out of you. So it's like, why do that? But and yeah, nowadays with the internet, a lot more fighters of both sexes can see who's good and see who's not. There's a lot more tape reviews, so now people know who to avoid. People know which styles they don't like to fight. People know which styles are most likely to beat them. So nowadays, people are being more selective about what they get, and also it doesn't help. It doesn't help when you have guys like Canelo, when you have guys like Munguia, when you have guys like Eubank and all these fucking people getting paid decent money to fight absolutely nobody. Even people like Terrence Crawford. You see people like Terrence Crawford getting lots of money to fight Avanesian, and what's the first thing people think? People think, well, if he doesn't have to fight anyone and get paid a lot, why do I have to? Why should I have to risk my life fighting someone dangerous if people want to see me fight? He gets paid over $10 million and he doesn't have to fight anybody. So why should I do that? So that's why especially on the man side, that's why you see that's why you see that. That's why you see more ducking. That's why you see more guys not wanting to actually fight each other.
yeah. So basically, like you know, it basically all comes down to the cost benefit analysis of like would you rather take a bigger risk in fighting some guy that could easily take your life away that's dangerous versus fighting like low tier bums by getting paid like not the same amount of money that you would do in big fights, but if you could fight bums for like a good like couple million and then you just keep doing that over and over, that's like a good idea.
I mean, that's the thing. So it's difficult to say. I mean, of course, it is a good idea to maximize the money and minimize risk. That's just that's intelligent. But then again, your fan base suffers. And also, one thing people got to understand is that fighting dangerous fights is also a way to make big money. back in the day before YouTube, before you could actually watch, before you could actually have a guy's whole career on the internet, and you couldn't adequately review tape. The only way to get big money was to make the big fight. So if you wanted to make a lot of money, you had to fight Mike Tyson. If you wanted to make a lot of money, you had to fight Mayweather. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns, they fought so young because they were clearly the best niggas there, and you couldn't fight anybody else. So people like Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler, all those dudes fought when they were young because it was obvious that they were the best people, and people didn't want to pay them, pay them all this money to just watch scrubs. It was very clear that they were the best. Now with YouTube and also with clever media, you got all kinds of dudes getting hyped. People thought Zerto was a threat. Like, like, I don't really need to say shit else. People were convinced that Zerto was a threat. Like based off of what? Based off what? You can't tell me one time where people. You can't tell me one specific fight where Zerto's been like, oh shit, watch out for Zerto. Like, no one fucking cares.
Yeah. Yeah, what gets me really pissed off is like whenever I do criticize like a fighter's, resume, like I'll use like, who's that other hyped up Mexican fighter? I'll use man, like it's really hard to say, but I mean I could probably use Julio Cesar Martinez's resume, or actually no, like I'll use Naoya Inoue's resume. Like he doesn't have that many difficult fights on his resume. Like his most difficult fight to date was the Nonito Donaire fight, and he didn't even like fight that smart in the fight, but the level of punishment that he took, like it clearly shows like he cannot, he fails to make like quick adjustments in the fight to avoid getting banged up, and it just looks like that he's he's just like a B level or borderline C plus level fighter, and whenever people talk about him facing like a Stefan Fulton and all those other guys, like they don't come to the table to say like, okay, well they're good, but they don't compare and contrast like the actual styles, and they just basically play like this like my fighter is better than your fighter attitude to like make it seem like that their fighter is just completely unbeatable, like nobody can't beat them.
Right, and I will say this. So I'm not gonna. The Stephen Fulton thing is touchy, especially because now we find out that he's moving up in weight, so that's weird. But
Really?
what I want, yeah, that is very weird.
Wow, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, apparently he's gonna fight fucking Figueroa again, which I don't understand. But before, that's just what I heard. Hopefully he reconsiders, but that's just the word on the street. Nothing has been official yet. He's still a unified champion at 122. But I will say this: Naoya Inoue is a beneficiary of just he's a beneficiary of just the talent pool of just the divisions that he was in. The talent pool was just limited at the time. He's one of those guys. He's kind of like Canelo in 168. The talent pool just happens to be weak as fuck. So, he took advantage of that. Now, Inoue has one notable win on his fucking resume, and that was a 39, 40-year-old with 6 losses that have been smoked by a dude that's currently, like, retired. So, like, yeah, people. And then when it comes to the pound for pound list, people like to switch up their criteria to benefit whoever. Like, oh, he's been up 3 divisions. Okay, that's fantastic. Fighting who? Well, so he beat Donaire. Okay, he had a decision with Donaire. Cool. Now what? No, exactly. Like, what the fuck? Like, I get tired of the inconsistencies when we're talking about a pound for pound list, and especially considering we don't know how he would do against other notable opposition. Like, there's never been a situation in which people have picked someone to beat in a way, and that to me is very telling. Like, if you've never had a fight where you even thought there was a possibility they could fucking lose, like that doesn't sound like a person that's been fighting anybody. And all that initial fight told me was that 10 years ago, Donaire would have beat your ass. If Donaire was 10 years younger, he would have knocked Inoue the fuck out. That's all that first fight told me.
Yeah, like if that was like Nicholas Walters in his prime versus Naoya Inoue, he would have stopped him too.
I mean, maybe because I think I personally attribute Walter's success to a lot of just circumstance. I don't want to call it luck because Walters is not a bum or anything because he only has, I think, the one loss to fucking Loma. But I just like that, that was kind of circumstantial. But yeah, possibly. But it took anyway 2 fights to do what Nicholas Walters did in 6 rounds. So people are like, oh, he's clearly number two pound for pound in the world. I'm like, you're just saying that because he's moved up in the tiny weight classes. And keep in mind, these fucking sperm weight classes are separated by like a sandwich. They're like 2.5 pounds between them.
Yeah, that's
So
why,
it's
like
just
I said,
ridiculous. Fuck.
yeah, that's why that I said that the consolidation of weight classes need to happen. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but back in like the old days in boxing, like there wasn't all these like multiple weight classes. Like I think there was at least like 8 weight classes total, but the reason why the weight classes like doubled up was mainly because of that the sanction bodies taking advantage of the political like financial ramifications of getting more sanctioning fees and just creating more like basically like political advantages to like grow their organizations, because it's like it doesn't do anything but just give them money. It doesn't give up the fighters any benefit of having to struggle to make those weight classes.
I mean, it's good because it creates diversity, and when I mean diversity, I mean it allows for more fighters to come in and increases the probability of having of having a more diverse talent pool. So it increases the probability of good fighters emerging. But yeah, the reality of it is a lot of the sperm weight classes were only invented so sanctioning bodies could take advantage of Asian markets. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, if those weight classes got consolidated, there'd be very few Asian fighters. Because with all due respect, like between the United States, Mexico, and Eastern Europe, Asian fighters, when you get too heavy, they really can't hang. There's really, unfortunately, they're physically limited. There's not a lot that they do well in order to survive. So, like a lot of the time, I mean, they'll have some speed but not power. They might have power but no chin. They might have chin but no skills. So it's all very difficult. And again, that's why a lot of them rather do other martial arts instead of boxing because they know that physically it's not their strong suit. That's why anyway is so popular right now because he's an anomaly. Very rarely do you see some super top notch Japanese boxer that's not in sperm weight. That's why people are talking about this Butler thing. He's gonna move up, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna see, we're gonna see what he's made of. If he were to move up and smoke MJ or smoke Fulton, like just beat the shit out of him, then I'd be like, okay, damn, yeah, this guy is certified. Maybe he could actually fight. But until such time, I mean, we're certifying him based on beating up Donaire, a guy that's been beat up by people that don't even get any credit. Like Nicholas Walters doesn't get credit for knocking out Donaire. He doesn't get no fucking credit. Only thing Nicholas Walters gets credit for is losing to Lomachenko. That's it. So it's like how we gonna suck off anyway? Say he's a pound for pound best in the world because he won. Like most people who have him now on the pound for pound list, if you start asking them the names of the people he beat to get his belt, they wouldn't be able to fucking tell you. They wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to fucking tell you. It's bad enough he already fights at fucking 5 a.m. Oh, what's up, PJ's big dog? It's bad enough that he already fights at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. But most of the people that suck him off haven't even watched any of his fights. They just say whatever ESPN tells them to say.
Yeah.
So
I was even going to say, I did like my research that the other day, but predating to the WBA's existence, the National Boxing Association was the quote unquote like mainstream like world title organization that had world title fights, and they didn't have that many weight classes, and the competition was actually a lot tougher back in like the I believe late 1800s to early 1900s until like correct me if I'm wrong, I believe 1921 or 1923 when the WBA came into existence. But like it pretty much suits like your argument. Like the sanction bodies are clearly showing that they're just taking advantage of the less marginalized fighters that could just get like an easy payday for beating up on lesser known opposition. So if you're
It's not even the fighters getting the real payday either because barely anybody watches sperm weight boxing. It's the sanctioning bodies. The sanctioning bodies get to sanction all these events and do all this shit, and they get money. And I mean, the fighters get paid some, but outside of like even Chocolatito's checks ain't hidden like that. Like people think Chocolatito is some fucking. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a Hall of Famer because he's the one guy who has championship titles in all 4 of the smallest weight classes. But his checks ain't hidden like that. No, he's not clearing no big bread. So it's like, yeah, it's the same thing body's getting out. Like I said, I don't mind representation. I don't mind there being more fighters or whatever because it's just more boxing I get to enjoy. But like honestly, if the weight classes were consolidated, a lot of the niggas being certified right now be getting weeded out. They wouldn't be hanging. Like for example, even if and that's across the board. Like even if you consolidated some weight classes, like let's say we consolidated 154 and 160, a lot of motherfuckers at 154 you wouldn't be hearing about right now, and vice versa. So like it's just and honestly, when it comes to the pound for pound list, that's what I think about. I think about that the most. Not only do I think about your opposition, who you've been fighting, and how you've been beating them, I think about if the weight classes got consolidated, could you survive elsewhere? Could you survive after a certain point? Like Manny Pacquiao proved that he could survive up to a bunch of weight classes when he fought certified opposition. People didn't give him any credit until he got to 130, 135 because he hadn't fucking fought nobody. That's why Manny Pacquiao is a fucking legend. And people talking about, oh, well, anyway, too small, Lomachenko too small. Okay, well, yeah, but these niggas are making weight. What the fuck? But then at the same time they want to put all this shit on Tank when Tank is smaller than Lomachenko. They want to be like, oh, well, he need to go and fight somebody. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Over the belts. But then anyway, is fighting fucking no. Like Tank got a better resume. I mean, well, I guess Donaire is his best win, and he's more accomplished than anybody that Tank ever fought. But Donaire has 6 fucking losses. So I will say that Tank's resume, if you really look at it, when he's been fighting people, at least he's fighting undefeated people in their fucking prime. Anyway, like 2 fights ago, he fought a nigga whose first fight was in prison. So it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
I was just about to say, like, in regards to like the pound for pound list, like originally it was mainly based off of skill set. So like technically, like when Sugar Ray Robinson was like around, that was like the whole idea of having the pound for pound list methodology to determine like if your fighter can convert the same skill sets to another weight class, then that shows how far that fighter can go. And I think like objectively speaking, like that's how boxing should be. Like, not everybody's gonna be a world champion, but some fighter styles can actually, beat other fighter styles in different weight classes, theoretically speaking. But I think like honestly, like in today's political mindset in boxing, like people are not looking at like the facts and they're using feelings to determine it as a fact, and that's not really the right way to go because all you're doing is just being counter-biased to other people's biases.
The pound for pound list now is looked at as a marketing scheme. So it's not like you just mentioned. The pound for pound list in boxing was originally invented for Sugar Ray Robinson, and it was to measure him against his skill set against those at heavyweight. Because obviously, like we've discussed before, heavyweights beat everybody else by default because they're just bigger. They're bigger and they're stronger, and they whoop everybody else's ass. Like no one thinks, oh man, Mayweather would have been able to hang with Mike Tyson. Like nobody thinks that. So yeah, it's to measure how they would do it heavyweight. So if we see somebody who could like be competitive up through the weight classes compared to a heavyweight, then yeah, a person pound for pound fighter. Like there's people like Canelo. There's people like there's people like Canelo, like Roy Jones Jr., fucking James Toney, those kind of people. Andre Ward, Triple G. Well, not Triple G was a fraud, but like Kovalev, like those people. Compared to heavyweight, their skill sets to be able to hang, and like even with Mayweather as a heavyweight, his skills would be able to hang. And we also levy that with belts and resumes. Like, are you fighting the people that are also considered the best in your division? And it's real good. Like I said, anyway, I'm not gonna shit on him for Butler because Butler's the only champion. It's not his fault that Jonas Sultan didn't handle business. So like Sultan is cool. I mean, Butler is cool, but keep in mind, Butler got smoked by Zolani Tate in 6 rounds. So if Inoue comes in here, so if Inoue comes in here and doesn't smoke him or goes the distance, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It's the same as if Crawford goes in there and then struggles with fucking Avenizzi. If honestly, I'm no bullshit. If Crawford and Avenizzi even go the distance, bro,
Crawford sucks.
Like, man, if that bullshit even really goes the distance, bro, like, shit,
Yeah, like I was gonna say, that one fighter, that Jonas Sultan fight, Carlos Caraballo. I was very surprised that Carlos lost that fight, but imagine if he did win that fight. I think he probably would have destroyed Paul Butler because Carlos, he's a good fighter, but he's not like a bad fighter. It's just like he's lost to some really good opposition that just came to fight, and I think like due to those type of fighters that go through like tougher matchmaking, they usually end up being like almost like a Sean Porter type of fighter where they start getting recognized a lot sooner. But but the fighters like Paul Butler and all these like marginalized fighters that just keep themselves domestic with like lesser known opposition beating them up, it just clearly shows that they're really not that good of a fighter to begin with.
Well, I mean, people like Paul Butler deserve respect because unless ordered, he wouldn't have to fight anyway. And there are plenty of people. There are plenty of people that in higher weight classes that if they were in Paul Butler's position, they wouldn't have been fighting anyway. Like Terrence Crawford wouldn't have fought anyway. Janabek wouldn't have fought anyway. Munguia wouldn't have fought anyway. Like there are plenty of people in boxing that wouldn't do what Paul Butler's doing. So I'm not going to shit on him. But the Caraballo situation, that's just a classic case of styles make fights. This is why triangle theories don't work. Because I agree, yeah, Caraballo would have beat the living shit out of James Butler. But unfortunately, when it came to Caraballo, Caraballo didn't handle business. And
Yeah.
he kept getting himself dropped. He was defensively irresponsible, relying on only footwork and hand speed, and forgot that Sultan could punch some. And that is what it is. But then Sultan went in with James Butler, didn't handle his business, didn't use his jab, got in there,
Yep.
got sloppy, got hit, and fucking lost. So I just that's the reality of the situation. But yeah, I agree that Caraballo would have smoked Butler, probably would have knocked him out, for being honest. But unfortunately, he didn't do what was necessary, and now we get this. So like I said, I don't think it's some kind of mega fight for anyway, because like I said, the nigga fights at 2 in the morning. But I do think that it's good. I mean, the guy's a champion. He beat Sultan for the belt, so I mean, he's going to destroy him. I think, but it's it is what it is. It's unification. It's for undisputed. Anyways, doing his job. And you can't fault him for
Yeah.
that. And as far as him being the second pound for pound best fighter of this era, like, nah, bro, we don't know
Nah.
that.
Yeah, and I mean, if he wins undisputed, I believe he'll be the very first four belt era Japanese undisputed champion, and the last undisputed Japanese champion, I forgot his name, but I think that was at like the lower weight classes. But like I want to probably give him that much credit. But
It's
yeah,
all the lower weight classes because, like I said, Japanese fighters, most fighters from the Far East Asian market, they don't survive when the talent becomes too diverse. Like between Americans, Mexicans, and Eastern Europeans, Japanese fighters wouldn't survive.
yeah,
Like
I just find it.
look at compare Naoya Inoue's career to Takashi Inoue's career. Takashi Inoue fights at 154. Perfect example. Two niggas named Inoue. One fights at sperm weight. One fights at 154. Look at their careers.
Yeah, Takashi. Yep.
Yeah, he got his ass beat on by fucking Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu's not even good.
Yeah, but yeah, like as far as like other fights go, what's your thoughts on Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia? Because I think this is a very good legacy fight, but I kind of think this is more like a fight to get Tank's reputation back, or just to stay sharp for Ryan Garcia. Do you think it's a good move?
It's a good, it's a good fight. I mean, excuse me. Get a sip of water. Yeah, I mean, it's a good fight in general. I mean, as far as legacy goes, the dude is an undefeated champion, but he's an undefeated champion from 130. So there's that. But I mean, like it's cool. I personally like it, but I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's a big legacy fight. I think it is just a good fight, just to get the activity up before Ryan Garcia. It's financially good because it's gonna be in DC, so you give the home DC fans, you get the DC fans in action, and Hector Garcia is not a bad fighter. Stylistically speaking, he's fucking more talented than Ryan Garcia. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah,
He's coming
Definitely.
off of he's coming off of two big wins. One where he smoked Chris Colby's bitch ass, and then number two where he actually got a belt off of the state champion, and
Patrick
beat his
Gutierrez.
ass pretty easy. So that's good. He's a southpaw. He hits hard. So it should be a good, interesting match. Hopefully, Hector Garcia comes to fight and doesn't do anything dumb and makes it interesting, so we can actually see Tank work. But yeah, it's a good fight. As far as legacy goes, I'm not gonna say all that, but it's a good fight
Yeah.
right now considering the shit we've been getting.
Yeah, like, are you gonna go to that fight or?
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. Maybe I don't know. It depends because I'm gonna be starting a new job and doing different stuff. So I don't know if I'm gonna have time. My weekends might be occupied with other shit. But yeah, no. I mean, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna go to it, but
Oh yeah.
it's a good fight.
Yeah, like I just figured that I asked, like, in case if you were, interested of going. But
I'm undecided. I'm undecided right now, but yeah, no. I am excited to see him back in the ring against someone of that caliber. Uh, you know, it is from 130, but still, it's a champion at the very least. He's actually putting some work, and most importantly, he's willing to take the fight. So if he wants to take the fight, then clearly he sees something. And also, he's not like a small 130. He's a sizable 130, just like Colbert's a sizable 130. And also, people got to remember, fucking Ryan Garcia took Javier Fortuna up from 130 his damn self and fought him at 140. So people are talking shit, saying, "Oh, Tank is bullying this little dude," but it's like, okay, well, look at the people Ryan Garcia's been fucking fighting. What are we talking about? Ryan Garcia tried to fight fucking Jojo Diaz's goddamn self.
yeah, speaking of Ryan Garcia, I believe I heard that him and George Cambosos you know, could be made or could be in the works. I'm not too sure.
Shit, honestly, I don't even know if Ryan Garcia's gonna fight Tank because he could pull out of that bullshit saying his fucking wrist hurt. He could say anything. He could be like, "Oh, I was in training camp. See what happened was I farted too hard and I dislocated a lumbar or some shit." Like he could say anything. But so I'm not even sold that he's gonna fight Tank for sure because the ink on that shit not even dry. They don't even have a fucking date yet. So he could say anything. This this could be the biggest clout chase on earth. Like they claim that the deal is done, but even if they had the venue, the date, and everything, Ryan Garcia could just be like a week out from the fight. Oh shit, my wrist! I'm not fighting no more. Like look at Adrian Broner. Look at Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner had a fucking because they're gonna have backup opponents for Tank just in case his bitch ass fall through. Like
Yeah,
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 just
we
like
better. Okay, number one, I don't want Ryan Garcia to make any pull-out excuses, but you know, like, to me, if he does pull out, who would be the proper replacement fighter to avoid a potential upset for Tank?
well, that's the thing. I don't like that mentality at all. What you like if Tank gets beat and he gets upset, that's on Tank. I don't think that there should be I don't think there should be a replacement fighter based on the probability that they're not going to upset Tank. That's why Tank's getting all this criticism now because he's fighting dudes that we all like that we all are that can see can't beat him. Like I said, Hector Garcia is a good fight, right? But don't get it twisted. I'm not giving Hector Garcia a fucking chance to beat Tank because he can't. He can't.
Yes,
Because I watched him. I watched his career before he beat Colbert. He got knocked on his ass by fucking Avilar, a nigga that was 16
yeah,
and
as a
4.
Gavlar, everybody don't want to be talking about that.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be like, oh shit, Hector Garcia is an ultimate badass. I said it's a good fight. That don't mean that I don't think Tank gonna smoke this dude. I don't see Hector Garcia getting in there and doing anything amazing. All he gonna do is hit Tank upside his head and piss him off. But but yeah, no, yeah, fuck was that saying?
Man,
But yeah,
Tank is gonna like Goku blacklight the shit out of him.
yeah, no. So
Gonna take
shit,
his life away.
I lost my train of thought on that. But oh yeah, the opponent selection. So as far as a good replacement, honestly,
Shit, it
shit.
better not be Edwin De Los Santos, but hey, I'm down for that.
Actually, yeah, that because he's bitching that he can't get a fight now apparently. So yeah, De Los Santos will be good. Who else they got in this bitch? Uh, Michelle Rivera will be, or the winner of Frank Martin versus Rivera will be good if they can stay in shape. Somebody like
But
William
coming
Taylor, just
coming from the
somebody.
December fight into January.
I mean, shit, it's been done before. Stanionis fought fucking what's his name? Stanionis fought. Oh wait, I don't know if that was a month or 2 month gap. Because Stanionis fought Deloach, and then he
Yeah, he
fought.
fought Delorme, or no, he fought Delorme leading into Butayev, right?
Oh no, he fought Deloach and Gonzalez pretty close together. I don't know if that was a month or 2 month separation, but he fought Justin Deloach and then
Yeah,
Julian
I
Gonzalez
can skip to that.
pretty close together. But either way, like somebody certified. I'm tired of these gimme fights because I don't have any faith in Ryan because Ryan could have been fought him. It's just like both. It's just like both Ryan and Tank could have already fought Devin Haney, but they haven't. So it's clear they don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, so Stanionis fought Deloach on November 4th of 2020, and then he went from that fight to Janier Gonzalez. That was like in December of that same year.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then
So it's not that hard. You just gotta stay in shape.
yeah, like
Especially if you get a knockout like he knocked out Deloach in like the first 5 rounds. So he wasn't like he didn't even like Deloach didn't even land any fucking punches. So he was
yeah.
straight.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, at least make it like a fair, even camp, so nobody's not coming in like how should I say, like damage after like a tough fight or battle torn, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know who the fuck they're gonna have on standby. I don't know who it is. I don't fucking care. But like I don't know. It might be Burchell or some damn body. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, if it's Gary Antoine Russell, like I'll be laughing like my ass off.
Well, I mean, shit. Gary Antoine said he can make 135 all of a sudden. I'm like, you should have gave us this information months ago. Now we already planned this shit. Now he come talking about, oh, I can make 135 by the time. You're like, okay, well, it sounds good now that he has dates booked. You fucking idiot. But but
Yeah,
yeah, nah, just give us that information early. Or I mean, because he said he wanted to fight Devin Haney, but yeah, no, I like that would be a good replacement if it could be Gary Anton Russell. If he could reliably make 135 and get down there, or 136, or oh fuck, because they're not even fighting at lightweight; they're fighting at a dumbass catchweight. So
yeah. So Gary Antoine Russell, he could come in at 140, and Tank he could come in at 136, and then rehydrate to like welterweight. I don't know.
yeah, something like that. But like I said, as of now, because I've never like. The thing is though, if you're the type of person that has hyped up Ryan Garcia into like something good, then you can't talk shit about Tank fighting him. Me, I talk shit about Tank fighting him because I've never thought Ryan Garcia was good. And keep in mind, I didn't think Ryan Garcia was good even before Luke Campbell put him on his ass. I'm like, okay, this dude is big. He has a decent left hook. He's kind of fast. That's all I see. What else? What else are we all looking at here? Like, I
Yeah,
don't understand where is this person showing separation? It's funny because dudes were comparing fucking Ryan Garcia to Oscar De La Hoya, and then when this Emiliano Vargas dude lands the left hook, they compare him to De La Hoya. It's like, okay, so who the fuck is De La Hoya then? Which one of these niggas are De La Hoya? Because every clean cut Mexican dude that lands a decent left hook knockout, you guys are saying is De La Hoya. This is why I can't fucking stand talking boxing with some of you niggas. Because motherfucker do the same shit. All of a sudden, oh, everybody's De La Hoya. Like, goddamn. But then when someone executes a shoulder roll and somebody say, "Oh, that looks like the Mayweather," all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, nobody's Mayweather." Okay, well then nobody's De La Hoya. That's how we doing that. Man, I'm getting so tired of these bitch dudes. Every time somebody comes out with a fucking decent haircut and some light skin and knocks somebody out with a left hook, oh look, it's De La Hoya. Like, no, nigga, he's not De La Hoya. Shut the fuck up. Ugh.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, like I just think Ryan, he's just a coward because I think he's just been he's been one of those people from like I'm not trying to be biased against people from California, but I just think he has such a pussified attitude on life, and I don't have anything bad feelings wise towards Ryan. I just think in boxing, dude, if you're not gonna be serious, just get out. You're wasting people's time and money and efforts to come out and see you. And when people say Ryan, he could sell out and he could do all this, I'm like, okay, well, if he could do that, then why not use that marketized value for big fights? because he said he wants to be out of the sport by like 26. But I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be doing that, like number one, you should have been fought Devin Haney. You should have been fought Teofimo Lopez. Like Ryan could have, like honestly, like theoretically speaking, Ryan could have banked out real quick. Like he could have gotten all those fights and just been like, okay, look, like I'm done, man.
Well, that's the
Like,
thing. Ryan Garcia, and this is the important point that I mentioned about like female combat sports athletes earlier, especially if you look good. You know, no weirdness intended, but Ryan Garcia is like he's a handsome dude. Like people look at him and consider him handsome. So what he wants to do is he wants to have maybe one or two tough fights and then get out of boxing on like modeling, movies, and other shit. Like if you look at the career of Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt is a woman that, yeah, Paige Van Zandt is a woman that had really probably no business actually fighting, and I don't know why she wasted, a lot of time doing that because she was already born with a good look. Yeah, she could have been doing all the OnlyFans shit that she's doing now way earlier and probably had a much easier lifestyle. But she decided to fight to get her notoriety up, get her popularity up, and now she makes money on OnlyFans and doing whatever. It's the same thing as Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey now goes to, like, she used her career to get her popularity up. Now she does WWE. The same thing, like, you look at people like The Rock, they use WWE, now they're doing movies. So, yeah, that's what he wants to do. He wants to use, because you can't get beat up in boxing and, like, lose your good looks and then expect to have the same career. Like, even now, that's one of the reasons why his fat ass can't make 135 anymore because he's constantly been doing modeling photos and he's been working out and lifting weights, getting muscle and shit. So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why he hasn't even been able to make lightweight. People still consider him a top lightweight. I'm like, this guy hasn't fought at lightweight since Amble. What are y'all talking about? He's not a lightweight. He's big as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's what he wants to do. He wants to get his shit together. He wants to be like one of these, like one of these chicks. Get his popularity up. Talk a lot of shit. Fight maybe one or two marquee fights. And then instead of OnlyFans, he's gonna do like guest modeling and maybe a movie or a TV show or some shit. and that's all fine. That's all fine.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that. But just like hurry up and get it out the way, because the thing I don't like is that he's taking up spaces in the rankings. So other fighters that actually desire to box are now on hold because this motherfucker is holding shit up.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking with YouTube boxing too, because a lot of these YouTubers, like, they don't need to be boxing. Like, all they're really doing is just expanding their market value, so they can just, get like the big bag, and then after that, they just dip out so they can get their, their name, a lot more marketable. But it's like that's not going to help you in the long run because you're going to get beat up in the cost of you you potentially damaging like yourself. So it's like, why would you even do that in the first place?
That's the key difference with the YouTubers that are going into box versus like the Paige Van Zandt cases, because the reason why Paige Van Zandt decided to do something else is because she was fighting certified opposition that was more talented than her, and she kept getting her ass beat. Like, even when she signed the bare knuckle boxing deal, I don't even recall how much success she had, but it's not enough. Yeah, it wasn't enough because now she's on like OnlyFans like full fucking time, and that's cool. But she utilized her MMA popularity to get the bare knuckle boxing deal, like some other people have done. And then now, because she made some money, but she sucked ass at that, she's doing the OnlyFans thing. Which, like I said, she should have been doing OnlyFans like 19. Like, she's just one of those girls that you just wasted a lot of time trying to be some shit that you weren't. Maybe trying to make your family proud of some shit. It's like, no, just give up. It's not your fucking lane. But but what I was going to say was the reason why it's different for these YouTubers is because these YouTubers are fighting people that are on their level. They're fighting people that also don't have a lot of boxing talent, so the likelihood that they're going to get destroyed is very, very limited. A lot of them are just fighting other YouTubers. It's like me taking 6 months boxing training and also fighting someone who's lived a similar lifestyle to me, but also taking 6 months boxing training versus me fighting somebody like fucking Charlo. Like if I cut down to 160, me and Charlo will be the same size. But the thing is, Charlo will beat the living shit out of me because he's had a lifetime of boxing experience and I haven't. Versus me, if I fought KSI. If I fought KSI and I just cut down to like 210 or whatever, that's a pretty even fight. And in fact, KSI has a good chance of beating me. But I think, I'd rather fight KSI because he's only had like 4 professional fights and barely any training. So that's a more even fight. That's why the YouTubers are coming into boxing, because they're also fighting other YouTubers. They're not fighting a lot of pros. They're not fighting people like Benavidez and Anthony Durrell Like Anthony Vidal is an actual. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that dude. He's not just a YouTuber. He's an actual fucking pro boxer. He has like 20
yeah,
fights.
yeah. Vin O'Reilly, he's a beast. Like I
I
like,
mean, yeah, not
I like
Anthony
him.
Vidal, not Anthony Vidal yet, but Vidal Riley. Yeah, that dude is a real fucking fighter who happens to
Yeah,
have a YouTube.
he be putting in that work. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that dude is different. That dude is a literal professional boxer that happens to also have a YouTube channel. That doesn't count. I'm talking about people like the Paul brothers who have made their entire careers on YouTube and are just now boxing. Those dudes are not fighting anyone certified unless they have a massive weight advantage. Logan Paul felt comfortable fighting Mayweather because Mayweather's a little fucking dude. Logan Paul is bigger than me. Logan Paul is like 6'2" and walks around at like 230. So he was like, oh well, you know, I could whoop on Floyd ass, and that obviously wasn't the case. So
yeah,
these YouTubers aren't even taking those kind of chances. Like I don't know who the fuck these people are fighting. And it's the same as the pro NFL players. Like the NFL players just fighting other NFL players. They're like, this nigga doesn't have any real boxing experience for us, so this is an even fight. That's why it's different.
yeah. Like I was gonna say two things about that. Like for like myself, I train whenever like I'm able to for boxing, but I know like if I were to like face like the YouTubers, like I know that I could beat them a lot easier compared to like if I fought like maybe like a guy that's at heavyweight or at like a lower weight. I know that I'm in for like a tough fight, but it's like for these YouTubers, they're taking lesser risk in maximizing like the bag, and they know that you know they can't get in there with some like certified killer that's you know a up and coming rookie that's a professional in the rankings. So what bothers me is like, they really do think that, they could just continue this on until like, I guess like no more money is being offered to them. But it's like, if you guys really want to be fighting, it's like, don't do it on how should I say, don't do it on the same night of like a big boxing card that's going to be like commence and compared to how should I say like the whole situation with Paige Van Zant, it's like I just don't think like for her like doing that OnlyFans really makes her like a better person because it's like she has like better things to do like outside of that and including fighting because it's like
No,
she never needed to like do combat sports in the first place. Like she obviously has like a really good marketing mindset, so it's like why didn't you just take your talents into making several businesses? Because at least if you did that on top of like the OnlyFans, like you would be maximizing a lot of money. So it's like
that shit is
you
hard
can't
work, bro.
just
Not everyone has the mindset to actually be some kind of serial entrepreneur. A lot of people just want to have one solid source of income that they can work on, that they enjoy doing, and that can pay all their bills without them having to work too hard or clock in at a 9 to 5. That's what a lot of people want. And I mean, like I
yeah
said,
yeah yeah
you
yeah
saw
yeah.
you saw her career, from fucking MMA to bare knuckle to now, and yeah, she's not on that bullshit. I don't even know where the fuck she's from. She always looks and sounds like she's from fucking orange. But
Yeah, like it's just like I think like people of her mindset heavily rely off of that to a point where she doesn't have anything to offer other than just use sexual like appeal to think that's going to
yeah, bro, look,
keep.
she's from fucking Dundee, Oregon. What the fuck? Like, she don't. I mean, come on, what the fuck do you expect? And then she spent, and then her family moved to fucking Nevada, which is no better. And then she spent a lot of that time fighting out of fucking Florida. Another, like, come on, bro, she's not famous for. Like I said, at the time, maybe she was trying to make her family proud by like doing whatever this was, but it's like, man, like, come on, dog. Like, nah, you gotta. It is what it is, and not to mention, I would do the same thing. Like if I had enough clout to where and I was like a person that's kind of known for sex appeal, I would do the same thing and just transition to OnlyFans. It's a lot easier. It's less risk. There's a it's less risk. There's less trauma involved. You don't get beat up. It's definitely less work. You don't have to work as hard to stay in shape. So it makes all types of sense. Oh my god! And wow, so her that's fucked up. Her last, her real last name is Sletton, and of course that translated to a terrible last name in school. You can only imagine
Wait. Like, what's your last name?
her real last name is Sletton, so you can only imagine what they called her in school. She just chose.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. She chose Van Zant out of fucking nowhere. But her family name is Sletton. That's fucking hilarious.
They call her
Yeah,
Sutton.
no, like I said, she's not. I mean, I'm not gonna call her an airhead, but she's not gonna be a fucking tycoon. And it's the same as a lot of these dudes. These dudes are come from buttfuck Michigan or buttfuck Texas. They're not all of a sudden gonna become Floyd Mayweather level business people. Oh, you gotta own something. Like no, she just let her like I said, the thing about it though is I admire her not trying to like double dip and fucking hold up boxing. Like that's what I don't like about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is trying to hold his spot in the rankings, doing other shit while also being in boxing and fucking everything up. I admire her because she just got the fuck out of the way and did what she needed to do. She's not holding up the rankings. She's not holding a belt. She's not having people constantly talk about her like she's some kind of fucking factor. She just got the fuck out the way. Do whatever you're doing, but do it the fuck over there. That's what I like. Get out of the way. Retire. Relinquish your spot in the rankings so we can all move on. Because I'm no bullshit. I'm tired of talking about Ryan Garcia. I really am. Motherfucker's done nothing to earn all the hype that he's got, and people acting like he getting ready to really get in here and do something with Tank. Like what the fuck? Like I said, he's another dude who's gotten worse. Like Munguia, he's gotten worse. He's gotten worse over
Yeah.
time because the opposition hasn't fucking increased.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, like that's why that I respect like other fighters like Jaleel Hackett because, him and his father are like very smart people, and he said this like on Blue, but like I think years ago, saying that after boxing he wants to set up his own business with I think like a funeral business, but yeah, I mean like for people like that, I like those type of people because I come from like a family where, education is number one, but always have like a career plan of what you want to do, and then have backups on top of that. Because if you have good ideas that you can do without having to be like, I guess like an entrepreneur of your own, like just go for it. Just build up those skills.
Yeah, I mean, but again, entrepreneurship is hard. It's something that takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of monitoring, and you're not guaranteed success. Whereas if other people, like you see Alicia Bumgarner, Michaela Mary, even Ebony Bridges. Like Ebony Bridges is another one of those people. Watch her OnlyFans announcement is going to be some of the least surprising shit in history. Look at how
boring,
she
boring woman.
yeah, look at how she markets herself. It's clear that she doesn't really want to box for real. She was a math teacher, and
Yep.
well, first of all, she was a bodybuilder. She had cosmetic surgery to be a bodybuilder. She clearly wasn't the best at that. Otherwise, she'd still be doing it. Then she went to becoming a math teacher, and math teachers aren't known for really anything and don't make a whole lot of money, even in fucking America. So I know in Australia they're not doing shit. And now she's
Yeah.
a boxer that fights once in a while. She gets special favors for title shots. We can only imagine how the fuck she gets them. I'm not even going to get into that.
Sexual appeal.
Yeah, that's only speculation, so I'm not going to put that on her. But yeah,
Yeah.
like we can tell that she doesn't really want to box like that. So her OnlyFans announcement or her modeling announcement or her lingerie line, like it's going to be some of the least surprising shit because she's also trying to find her way out. But my thing is, cool. Like right now, she's still being active and defending her title. Okay, cool. But when it's time for you to get out, get the fuck out.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Relinquish the belt and get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
I don't like her ass.
Do porn or do lingerie or do whatever the fuck it is you do. Get out. Like same with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia. Yeah, like same with Ryan Garcia. When you're done, relinquish the belt. Get the fuck out of here. Like well, he doesn't have a belt right now, but like retire. Don't stay in the rankings.
No.
Don't talk shit. Don't talk about boxing. Just get the fuck on. Get out of here. I'm tired of talking about you. I'm tired of having fights stalled because of you. I'm tired of you making fights and then pulling out of them like a bitch. Like, just get gone. Just get out.
Yeah, that's why I don't really respect a lot of people of that caliber because it's just like the lack of responsible character outside of the sport because it's like if you don't like the sport but you're trying to like use it to just play drama games, it's like, then I'd rather just see you gone versus like you pissing people off and just you talking, because it's like no one wants to hear you. Like no one's really here to support you. And I think in the case of like Ryan or Ebony Bridges or anybody else that thinks like that, they're not people that really focus on being responsible. Like they obviously, rely off of the dependency of their, fake, monetized audience that doesn't really go out to really support them, and they just have like a lack of maturity in what they like promote.
I mean, my thing is too is that people keep saying that Ryan Garcia does numbers, and I'm like, okay, which numbers? What the fuck you want to talk about his attendance? Like they never talk about how much revenue the motherfucker brings in. They'll talk about either attendance or like seats filled, like tickets. How much money are you actually bringing the fuck in? Like what are the sales? Because he has no pay per view history. So like I'm just confused on like why people are saying because he's popular because he has millions of followers on fucking Instagram. A bunch of people got millions of followers on Instagram. Now I mean you moving any fucking weight. Like again, let's go back. Let's go back to Ebony Bridges. Ebony Bridges is a very popular figure. I guarantee if you put a picture in front of someone, they will have seen her somewhere, but they will have no fucking idea she's a professional boxer. That's not what the fuck she's doing. That's just like if you take someone that's like under the age of 18 and you show them Paige fucking Van Zandt, they don't know what the fuck she does for real. They're like, oh shit, I've seen her, but like, what did she? Oh yeah, she fought at one. Like, nah, bro, like,
She doesn't have like a real career. Like that's really what she is.
No, modeling is a real career. Adult entertainment is a real career. I just like I said, I like the fact that she's not stalling the sport. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I respect her as a woman for being responsible to try to find a backup. But like for me, like I just come from that family breed where like you should always be hardworking in a career that gets you to a higher level. Not do something where you have to like heavily rely off of it because that's like the only skill when there's plenty of other skills out there for you to like expand yourself as a person.
Well, I mean, people can only work with what they know. They can only work with what they have. So you know, I mean, it is what it is. People only have what they have, and they only have what they're willing to work with. So like I said, I'm not gonna say it's not a skill. I'm not gonna say it shouldn't. I'm not gonna say they shouldn't be making off of it, but like honestly, like look at you have to look at what OnlyFans has been doing for boxing now. Like OnlyFans has been able to sponsor. OnlyFans has been able.
Romero just.
Well, they've been able to sponsor like Errol Spence Jr., Devin Haney. So it's clear that OnlyFans is actually a pretty profitable venture because they've been outright sponsoring boxing events. And let me tell you, it wouldn't shock me if certain female boxers just start OnlyFans all of a sudden, like Alicia Bumgarner, what's her name,
Hannah Serrano, Kenya Enriquez,
Hannah Gabriels, like that one little Mexican flyweight. That one little Mexican flyweight already has one. So it's like, yeah, it's becoming a more popular trend. So I'm not gonna say it's not a job. I'm not gonna say it doesn't take work, but it's much easier than getting your ass beat. I can probably imagine that it's much easier and much safer than getting your ass beat. That's why people rather do that. So they figure, let me fight maybe once or twice a year. Do some camps, stay in shape, take lots of good photos, and then just transition out. And like I said, cool, but get the fuck out of here. Don't try to have one toe in, one toe out, and you don't want to fight. And you fight sometimes, but then you don't want to fight, and you keep pulling out a fight. It's like, nah, I don't fucking do that.
Yeah. All right. We got this, troll in the chat. I don't know who you are, but True, tell us what you got to say.
Oh, I'm a troll now. Okay. Sounds like y'all trolling, but okay.
All right. So what you gotta say?
No, I was just listening to the crying and whining.
About what?
I don't think you guys are boxing fans. How you gonna be a boxing fan and cry about the biggest fight next year for right now.
Which is the biggest fight next year?
Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis.
Oh, the fight that is currently not scheduled.
What do you mean? They just announced it.
What
Showtime
date?
announced it and DAZN announced it last night.
What date?
But go ahead, keep crying though.
What date?
They said after they're gonna make it. I mean, it's already
Also, it's not
announced.
scheduled. Okay, gotcha.
What does it say? Scheduled for 23. That's what it means.
When's the date?
Yeah, it needs to have. Like,
They're going to decide.
Right, it's not scheduled. Gotcha.
Okay, I guess you're just an idiot. They just put it on the show, but
Not
okay.
scheduled.
You're not making no sense. It's already been announced.
What's the
So you're
date?
saying it's not gonna happen? So when it does happen, are you
What's
saying
the
it's not
date?
gonna happen? Are you saying it's not gonna
What
happen?
is the date?
Are you saying it's not gonna
It's
happen?
not scheduled.
I'm saying it's gonna happen.
You're answering questions with other questions because you're not sure. What's the date?
So it's not gonna happen. That's what you're saying.
What's the date?
No, your point is to say that it's not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
Answer my question.
Anyway, I mean, if you hate on the fight, you're just not a boxing fan.
I'm
It's
asking.
obvious.
What's the date? Thank
They
you.
said May
Can't tell
23,
me. Oh,
March,
May
April, or
23rd?
May 23.
Oh shit! So it's March, April, May.
Tentative.
Tentative.
What? There's no point to what you're saying.
Not scheduled.
It's gonna happen. I'm saying it's gonna happen. I'm going on record
Congratulations.
saying it's gonna happen.
It's
So you're saying it's not gonna happen.
scheduled. I'm saying it's not scheduled.
What does that mean? They already announced it. You trying to say like that's what you're trying to say? It's not gonna
The
happen.
fight is not scheduled.
Oh my god, this is gonna go. Are you like I'm a man? I can say what I think, and I'm
The
saying it's
fight
gonna
is
happen.
currently
Are
not-
you a bitch and you can't say it's not gonna happen? Why don't you just make an answer?
The fight is not scheduled.
That's
Oh
good.
my gosh, dude, you're a weenie, bro. Like, you're not saying nothing though? Just say, is it gonna happen or not gonna happen?
I have no idea because it's not scheduled.
Oh my gosh, make a stand. Say what you
You
feel.
probably
Say
thought
what you
Ryan
think.
Garcia was gonna fight Pacquiao, and that never happened.
They didn't
Alright.
announce it.
All right, Crotch. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. If this dude's gonna stand because he clearly doesn't.
Yeah, because you're a weenie. Go run, you little weenie. I'm scared. This guy's he's harassing me.
I'm outta here if you
Fine.
want.
You're a hoe.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
it
run,
up.
little hoe. Bye, little hoe. Bye, you little hoe.
I don't like.
You're
I don't
nothing. You're a weenie. Because you're not a boxing fan. You sound like a little weenie. Just say what you say. I'm just saying you're not a boxing fan. You're shitting on the fight. There's gonna be the biggest fight of the year. I just don't understand
Hey,
why
Craig,
you call
hey,
yourself a boxing fan and do that.
Yeah, like I'll get him out of here. Like if you want.
Yeah, kick him. He's not talking about anything.
Little weenie.
All right, see you later.
Yeah, he's not talking about anything. He's one of these guys that's talking about, oh, it's the biggest fight in boxing that's currently not scheduled. It's funny because not only just a year ago, Ryan Garcia and Pacquiao was the biggest fight in boxing. Oh, that never happened either. And let's keep in mind, it's not the biggest fight in boxing. I'm not even sure it's going to be the highest grossing fight in boxing, just because two dudes are kind of popular. And like Tank is actually a proven star. Ryan Garcia has no pay-per-view sales history. So these dudes talking about, oh my God, this is the biggest fight, and da-da-da-da. Look at him. He's geeked up over a fight that's not even scheduled. There's no fucking date. They just said sometime in 2023, Vegas, maybe. And like I said, even if it does get scheduled, Ryan Garcia could pull out at any point. He's like, oh, the fight's not gonna happen. Ooh, ooh. And I'm just, and look, Deontay Wilder versus Andrew Ruiz Jr. That's a fight I'm pretty sure is gonna happen. Guess what? Not scheduled. Like look at Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. It's been ordered and it can easily happen. Not scheduled. Janabek versus Munguia. It's been ordered and it can happen. Not scheduled.
Not scheduled.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go back and forth with some dumbass over here writing the guy. Oh, you hate boxing. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not-
Yeah, man. Like y'all don't know, dude. Like get the fuck out of here. Just because
yeah,
I'm
not
talking
geeked
about
up over a
something
bunch of
doesn't
fights
mean
that are
like
not
you need to
scheduled.
be arguing like a little kid. Like either be objective or don't be objective. Like you know,
My thing is, don't ask me questions and you can't answer any. Because I asked him when is the fight scheduled, he couldn't tell me. I'm like, yeah, because it's not scheduled. No, the only
yeah,
fight we
man,
have.
like you guys don't know boxing, man. You little weak dude. Make your own fucking channel. Like I don't ask people to come here, but guess what? When my channel gets bigger, I don't need you. Like so, like to me, like I don't do it for the sake of having like my own little echo chamber. I do it because you know I appreciate the sport a lot, and I like talking with you, Artman, and many other people that think like me, I guess. But
My thing
yeah,
is, he's coming in here to defend Ryan Garcia, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. So
yeah,
when
that's
is
fine.
Ryan Garcia? When is Ryan Garcia giving you a fight where you're like, damn, that was a hell of a fight. I really wanted Ryan Garcia to fight that person. Like, which fight was that?
Yeah,
He's never in life done that. He's never in life given us some kind of awesome mega fight where we really want to see him. This is the first time he's done that after he's had years of opportunity to do it, and it's not currently scheduled. Oh, DAZN and Showtime announced it. I'm like, man, bro, it's fucking Showtime. Showtime was doing weird shit like announcing a tentative dates for Spence and Crawford. Shut the fuck out. Had niggas out here buying plane tickets and booking hotels and shit, and nothing, and it fell through. So it's like, yeah. So forgive me if I'm a little bit more tentative about that. Oh, the date is tentative. But it's gonna. You think it's not gonna happen? I have no fucking idea because it's not scheduled.
yeah, because it's like like in due time, like we don't know if what the fight's ever gonna happen. So, like I think honestly, like Ryan will probably pull out again. So it's like I think it's just gonna be one of those situations where he's just gonna use Gervonta's name to just plug up at the fight, and he's just gonna pull out like a diva. Like he's gonna say, "Oh well, like my orbital whatever bone got hurt in like my left part of like my cornea, so I can't fight Tank." Like wow, the fight's like 3 days out.
And my thing about it is that I don't even give a shit because I don't think that it's a good fight. And when I say good fight, I mean that I don't think it's going to be a challenge for Tank. I think Ryan is fucking food. Ryan is like Zerto. He's just big. That's it.
Yeah,
I think that Tank is, and then what's worse, to make matters worse, he's vulnerable to Tank's literal best punch. Like what the fuck? He's a dude. He's a dude who can't defend. He's the dude who can't defend the left hand, and that's what Tank is known for. So it's like, bro, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, good for Tank. Hope they make a bunch of money. It'll be an entertaining fight, I'm sure, but it's not going to be a situation in which I'm confident Tank's not going to, or I'm confident that I can't pick the winner. Tank is going to knock him out, and everyone knows it. No one's picking Ryan Garcia with any confidence. Like, so it's just like, man, whatever. I like, to me, good fights are fights where picking the winner is actually going to be hard. Like, oh shit, anybody can win that. Like that's the 50-50. Like those are good ass fights. I don't. This is not a good fight for me. If it makes them a lot of money, cool. But I'm not getting any. So what the fuck do I care?
shit, I would like to get paid like multi-million dollars.
Yeah,
If I was fighting some good fighters.
yeah, absolutely. Like, to be honest, Virgil Ortiz versus Stan Jonas is a good fight. That's an actual good fight because the winner can
Yeah,
win.
I can't. Yeah, like I want to see that fight so bad.
Yeah, that like anybody could walk in and win that. That's why that's a good ass fight. Tank versus Ryan. Ryan's not good. Like Ryan is not good. He is not as far as talent wise. He's not up there. He's just big and he's somewhat fast. That's it. Luke Campbell couldn't punch and slapped him into an early fucking retirement. He hit him so hard he had a fucking midlife crisis at the age of like 22. And Luke Campbell cannot punch. Luke Campbell, oh fuck, I don't even remember. Like Luke Campbell not only had accomplished nothing in sport boxing, never touched the championship, lost to niggas wash leftovers, but he retired at like 30, 33 or 32 or some shit. But out of all his fights, he had 20 wins, 4 losses, and he like, come on, he was not this like super duper puncher. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, like I just find it crazy that people will use those type of fighters as a means to certify them to say, oh well, look, Luke Campbell, he fought for world titles, but when you look at a guy like Gervonta Davis's opponents, Luke Campbell would just wash right through him, and I'm like, okay, so why didn't Luke just fight Tank when Tank was at 130 and just say, hey, like, give me Gervonta at 135?
It's funny
Like,
because if Tank had watched a dude like Luke Campbell, he wouldn't have gotten any respect.
yeah,
He wouldn't
like,
have gotten any respect for it.
yeah. So that's why European fighters are not that good in boxing. Like they don't, they don't they don't provide any benefit to the situation because if you're not fighting tough opposition, then you're not good. But yeah, truth teller, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like I don't ask you to come here. Like leave. Like see you later. Go make like another like account. See you later. But nah,
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't mind criticism. I really don't. But you're just coming in here with personal insults. He's personally excited about Tank and Ryan. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's a great fight to you. Cool, fantastic. Celebrate it, buy the pay per view, do whatever you
just
need.
celebrate it by yourself. Like,
Yeah, but currently the fight is not scheduled, and Ryan Garcia has a proclivity for pulling the fuck out of fights. Ryan Garcia has either lied or pulled out of like 3 or 4 fights by now. And keep in mind, this is a fight against not only a person that he could have already fought by now, but this is one of the single most talented fighters in all of boxing that is known for punching power. And Ryan Garcia does not have the best chin, sucks at defending the left hand, and for all intents and purposes, even the people managing Ryan Garcia think he's gonna fucking lose. So it's like, why now? Like, so that's why I feel like this is gonna be. He's gonna, if he even fights Tank, which I don't think he does. If he even fights Tank, he's gonna get in here, he's gonna fucking lose. He's gonna use his little to get in a movie or make memes about himself or whatever. And hopefully he just stops boxing because it's clear he doesn't want to.
yeah.
Yeah, he could have fought Devin Haney, but he didn't. So
Yeah, like him and Devin Haney would be like a way better fight than Devin versus Loma. Like,
no, I'm not gonna say that because I don't give Ryan Garcia a chance to beat Devin Haney either. I think Devin Haney just makes him look stupid for 12 rounds.
yeah, like I'm just saying, like if Devin and Ryan fought each other like out in California, like that would do way better. No, like a way better numbers compared to Loma and Devin at least.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I agree with that because Loma, in and of himself, like people talk about him, but he's not like some uber duper mega draw.
Yeah. I was also gonna talk about Edwin De Los Santos. Did you hear what he said about Shakur Stevenson talking all that smack?
I thought that was addressed to Pittman. I didn't know it was just to Shakur.
Yeah, like I heard that that was like addressed towards Shakur because I looked at his Instagram and I think he tagged Shakur Stevenson in it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, shit. Personally, I mean, people can talk about Pitbull ducking Shakur. Like, if that's really what happened, then sure. But I also don't think that if Pitbull, I don't think that Shakur Stevenson would allow his first fight at 135 to be anybody like that. I don't think even if Pitbull wanted to smoke, I don't think they would have made that fight. I don't think they would have made De Los Santos or anything. I don't even think they would have made fucking I don't know. Maybe they would have made Devin Haney. But even still, they probably would have said, "Oh, he needs to tune up. He needs to adjust the weight class, whatever." So that's what I think. I think they're trying to find him some opponents, and he's over talking about William Zepeda when he knows Zepeda's on his own. Like, why the fuck would they do that? Not to mention, Zepeda has almost 30 wins. Like, he has 26 wins, 23 knockouts. He's a southpaw. He's fast. He's strong. So, stop calling him out when you know that they're not gonna fucking do that. They're not gonna make that goddamn fight. And then when you have people that are available, like Raymond Murataya, Abdullah Mason, all those, none of those are getting consideration. Why not? They're not busy doing it.
Yeah, Shakur could fight, Abdullah Mason with only 5-6 fights.
Yeah, or I know Abdullah Mason has a fight coming up, so maybe he could fight Raymond Murataya. He's a guy who's undefeated.
Yeah, Murataya, that's a good ass fight.
He's undefeated. He's aggressive. He boxes pretty decent. He's making a name for himself on Top Rank. He's on Top Rank. It's an easy fight to make. So why not those people? He's talking about fucking William Zepeda, some shit that you obviously know is not gonna get made. Why the fuck would you even say that?
Yeah, because if he fights Raymond Murataya, not only that it benefits his career or Raymond's career, but it's a really good fight to give both guys a really tough test and just move forward.
My thing is, if you're gonna fight some dude, it's better to fight someone that is barely known and undefeated more than some dude who's clearly washed. Because this person's never been beaten. There's no direct blueprint to beat them. They have an opportunity to achieve something, and you have an opportunity to achieve something. You can take each other's oaths. It's always exciting when two people are undefeated. You know, so I think, and especially because Raymond Murataya shows promise. So if Shakur Stevenson clips him, it'll be a win that ages well because not a lot, like people aren't just gonna walk through him at 155 unless his skills like fall off completely. So you know, yeah. But I think that his first fight is gonna be trash, and then people are gonna say, oh, well, everybody and their mother ducked him. Da, da, da. So he's like, all right, you know, because all of a sudden, because Pitbull Cruz didn't want to fight him, the entire division ducked. Okay, yep. It sounds good. And then eventually he's going to be in a situation where he's going to be close to other people in this division. And you know what he's going to say? Oh, I'm on top rank and they're everywhere else, and we can't make it because politics, side of the street, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the same thing Terrence Crawford did. So, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
I just have a feeling Shakur's going to, like, you know, basically, you know, like eventually end up like a duck to like some tough fights that will be put on the table, and you know, he's just gonna use like the Terrence Crawford excuses to say, oh well, these guys didn't want to fight me, you know, I was over here on top rank, and Bob Arum, he can make these fights happen, but you know, if they don't want to fight me, then I gotta fight these low level bums. It's like, dude, if you really want to fight them, just go over there, like go go beat their asses. Like, there's no shame in just taking the risk, because it's not like Shakur can't do that. Like, look at fucking Lorenzo Simpson. Like, he's fighting like pretty good opposition, but he's he obviously doesn't care what anybody says. Like, I even asked him like about him and Xander Zayas. This was like a little over like 6 months ago, and he literally said like, yo, like tell Xander to send me like the contract. Like, he's not like afraid of anybody. Like, that's not the type of mindset that I like out of guys like him, because it's like, you know, you don't care who's being put in front of you. You just care about fighting good opposition. So, you know, if the matchmaking was just like that, it's just like, you know, I don't think that you'd be seeing that many trash fighters that are being hyped up right now, because I think that's what the problem with the, you know, that the trash hyped up fighters are being hyped up too much, and all the good fighters are being like put into like all these like small little closets where they don't get like enough promotional shine, and it's like, you know, they're putting in all this work to like really be good. Like we talked about like the other day with like Charles Conwell, like he's putting in that work to be like, you know, to be certified at 154, but it's like people are acting like, oh, Charles Conwell, like he's not good yet, blah blah blah, just give him more time. Nah, dude, like he wants all the big names at 154, and it's like, if people ain't gonna talk about him, it's like he's gonna be like that guy that's just gonna upset like your favorite fighter, you know, real soon. So it's like, you know, it's best to get to know these guys now versus like not knowing them later, because it's like, I think that's how all these major upsets happen in boxing. Like, people don't do their homework on some of these fighters, and they just think that, you know, the B side will automatically lose to the A side.
Well, you can tell. I mean, fighters themselves will tell you who's good. You can tell who's good and who's bad by who's consistently getting fights. If like I always say, look at people like fucking Gabe Rosado, Derek Chisora, Samuel Vargas, Adrian Granados. These dudes are constantly getting elite fights despite losses, so you can tell that they're not fucking good. But the people who struggle to get fights all the time, those are usually the people that other professional teams are like, fuck, I don't know if we should put our dude in there with that, because you never know what happens. Like, look at Jamal Charlo, Jaron Ennis. Stanionis ain't fighting that often no more. Shit. So, yeah, so you can tell the dudes who are good by those who aren't easily getting fights. Like, I get, like, look, check this out. Like, if Samuel Vargas called out Keith Thurman right now, talking all kinds of big shit, you know how easy it would be to make that fucking fight? Like, you know how
fought in like years.
Yeah, you know how fast Keith Thurman will sign that paperwork so fast he'd have fucking wrist burn. But if Jaron Ennis talked the same shit, what would Keith Thurman say? Oh, well, you know, Young Buck ain't done nothing. I need $10 million.
Well, you gotta do what I used to do. Like, you gotta fight these guys. Like,
yeah, all that
back to back.
all that bitch shit. Like Josecito Lopez can get a fight with anybody at welterweight at any fucking point. But anybody that's good is gonna have to go through some extra fire. It's all bullshit. Bro. It's all some goddamn bullshit. Like you can tell who's good and who's not based on who easily gets fights. If you're easily getting elite fights despite losing, you probably suck dick. If it's really hard to get you any amount of fights, pro teams probably know you're good.
Yeah, and actually, I just find it crazy because I like take a look at like all these like journeymen, right, in boxing that are like getting all these like tough fights handed to them. They're like staying more active than like the actual like upper echelon fighters.
You're right. And one thing that pissed me off is when people thought that Terrence Crawford's first fight at PBC was going to be fucking Josecito Lopez. They were really excited. That's why I always talk about the importance. No, real shit. That's why
Lopez.
yeah, a nigga that's just famous for getting beat up. That's it. But that's why I always talk about the importance of fan representation because a lot of the times the fans can actually pull more weight than you think. Like for example, now that we're talking about Terrence Crawford was supposed to before he got undisputed, he was supposed to defend the IBF against the motherfucker named Lipinets. But the fans got involved. They called and emailed the IBF to tell them to let Undisputed happen because that was the bigger fight, and he was able to get Undisputed. That was the last time fans gave a fuck about Terrence Crawford. Most of those fans are from the LDBC anyway. So that was the last time fans gave a fuck. But now, since most of Terrence Crawford's intelligent fans have threw him in the fucking dumpster, as they should, his fan representation is horrible. It's just a bunch of dummies that are supporting whatever he does. Oh, Avanesian, that's the greatest fighter in the world. Blah, blah, blah. People will say that Errol Spence is taking a fucking tune-up by fighting Keith Thurman, but then say Avanesian is a good fight. What? like are y'all fucking serious? And then the only thing they point to is his fucking split decision loss against a legend and the one punch Josecito Lopez got off. Like bro, if you niggas don't get out of here and sit down somewhere, like stop it. Talking about some damn Avanesian. Man, bro, like I can't.
Yeah, like I'm actually hoping David Avanesian beats Crawford because if that happens, then I'm pretty sure Spence is gonna come in there and be like, "All right, let's get Undisputed ready."
Bro, if I'm gonna tell you this, if Crawford and fucking Avanesian even goes the distance, that's a L. That's a straight L. If that bullshit even goes the goddamn distance, that is a L. Like honestly, if Terrence Crawford doesn't clear Avanesian. If Terrence Crawford doesn't fucking clear Avanesian within like 8 rounds, that's an L to me. Because what the fuck? And then people want to talk about how he's on this 6-fight knockout streak against who? Against who? Who are the people he is destroying? Who are these people? And the motherfuckers can't tell you. They can't tell you. They don't know. No, they've never heard these. They've never heard these niggas in their entire life. They're just talking shit to make Terrence Crawford look good for whatever reason.
Yeah, but it's like like if Avanesian really does come in here, like you said, he's going to knock out Crawford, then Crawford's career is just basically nothing. Like you can't give any credit to that resume. Like I will be the first one to say Crawford is a fucking bum and he will never be shit. When it's all said and done. So if Avanesian comes out here guns blazing and he knocks you out, your career is finished. And you can't say that Errol Spence ducked you. You basically ducked all the best competition from 135 and up.
I mean, I'm not going to call him a bum. I think he's a skilled fighter, but I think he's one of those people that, he's one of those people where it's been the result of media and matchmaking more so than his raw skill set. Because with this, like, he basically told me that he didn't believe he could beat Errol Spence. That's what he's telling me. And I'm never gonna believe in a fighter that doesn't believe in them fucking selves. Like I'm not gonna. What the fuck? I'm not gonna do that. If you think you're gonna lose, then you're gonna lose. That's what Floyd Mayweather always said. If you think about losing, then you're gonna lose. I never think about losing. That's why I only think about winning. That's why I always win. So if you coming into thinking, oh shit, if I lose, I'm like, oh nigga, oh hell no, I don't want to deal with you. Yeah, it's like, why do you think that Bivol was so fast to take that Canelo fucking check? Because he not only was it the money, but he's like, nah, I'm gonna beat this nigga ass. What y'all think? He was, he was like, bro, I'm gonna destroy this dude. It's just like when people were talking about, oh shit, Bivol's ducking Zerto. It's like, no, he's fighting other people that are better than fucking Zerto. And then of course, finally when Zerto's turn comes up, he whoops his ass effortlessly. It was horrible. Fucking Joe Smith Jr. put up a better fight than goddamn Zerto. Like it's like, bro, it's like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
yeah, but that's why that I like guys like Bivol, because it's like he doesn't care like what anybody says about, oh, like, you know, you could lose this fight, but it's like Bivol has shown like he's fought the tougher opposition. He's gotten way better by fighting guys that have tested him, and he's still able to get the job done. But compared to Zerto, compared to Canelo, compared to all the hyped up fighters that are not that good, you know, it clearly shows if you're not fighting with the tougher, you know, bladed opposition, you know, you can't be considered upper echelon in any sport.
Hey, real talk. You know, I agree, and I think like even not that I'm comparing the two because Anthony Joshua fought some certified opposition, some
Yeah.
like he fought some, but you know, but I'm saying he's like Terrence Crawford in the fact that his hype is mostly built by the media and matchmaking. Why do you think he had a nervous breakdown after he got his ass beat by a cruiserweight twice? He was like, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I fought better people. Why can I not beat this dude? It's like, because you're not it, bro. And I think that a lot of professional fighters don't want to have that realization. They don't want to have that epiphany that I'm not what they said I was. I'm not what I was portrayed to be. But it's even the people that signed the checks know the real deal. Like I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn and them back there, they were like, shit, Usyk might whoop his ass. Like you know, like they're not like they're not dumb. They know the fucking sport because I know if my dumb ass, I'm over here a fucking nobody. I didn't pick AJ to beat Usyk either time. So I know that they probably have the same idea that I had, but they were like, fuck, we're gonna make some bread and we'll see what we can do. And it didn't work out.
Yeah. But it's like, at what point of your career can you say that you're not good when you get smoked by some unknown guy that comes into your hometown and he or she cooks you? And it's like, people will look at you, you know, as a, you know, marginal fighter. You don't have, you know, the skills that people put you down for. And it's like, whenever people do these boxing analytics of how good a fighter is, like I always say to when guys like Andre Ward, when he talks about these quote unquote prospects, and which I don't believe in that shit, but it's like his analysis of what he sees out of a up and coming fighter is like, oh well, they got to use up the jab, they got to move around, and they got to do this, and that. But it's like most of them don't do that. They don't focus on the fundamentals. All they focus on is just trying to get that good, hot, shiny knockout to look at the camera. And it's like, you know, the minute they get put up with somebody that's ready to, you know, cook their ass, it's like they basically write them off immediately. They say, oh well, this guy was never good in the first place. You know, he's always made these mistakes and blah blah blah. But it's like, if this is how the media is supposed to like build up fighters, it's like, that's a poor like job of gaslighting them before they get, you know, smoked off.
Well, I'm not going to say that Terrence Crawford, like I said, I'm not going to describe him as a marginal fighter. I just think he's a fraud because now we'll never know. Now we'll never know. and the reality is, yeah, and the reality is he never wanted us to know. He never wanted us. He never wanted to test himself against someone that was on his level. And yeah, I will say he's a fraud, and I will say that his legacy is going to be like it's weak as fuck because he's talking about undisputed. I'm like, bro, Josh Taylor was undisputed, and nobody gives a shit. Okay, nobody gave a fuck. And honestly, Josh Taylor's undisputed run was probably more difficult than yours because at least he had to fight Regis. Regis would have knocked everybody the fuck out on your goddamn resume. Shit, fucking Terrence Crawford cleared Ndongo, and then Regis cleared Ndongo even faster. So it's like, what the fuck are we talking about here? And then yeah, Devin Haney's undisputed right now. So people keep talking about undisputed shit. I'm like, bro, these are fucking literal children that are accomplishing this. So
Yeah.
so it's like if you have to keep reminding people of what you've done, clearly it's not fucking important. Like clearly it's not important. If you
Yeah,
have
like
to-
I was watching the that Top Rank, Relentless episode that they made for Terrence Crawford in the past, and he literally said, like, in the video, like, in order for you to be great, you gotta be in that category of you wanting to be great. And then, like, like, I'm just paraphrasing off of what Crawford said, but like everything he said in that video clearly says all the contradictions of what a lesser hyped up fighter would be. Like, he said, like, at that video, like, when he was talking about all the names that he wanted at welterweight, it's like he never, held his word ever since that point. Like, he's been talking all this like tough talk, but then it's like when it's time for you to step it up, it's like, you just back off like a pussy.
Yeah, and it's also just marketing because, like I said, contrary to what that other dude was saying about fucking Ryan and Tank, this was actually a mega fight. But because Terrence Crawford never actually wanted to fight Errol Spence, he's just been marketing. He's just been using Errol Spence's name to market himself, kind of like Ryan Garcia's been using with Tank. Ryan Garcia has been using Tank to market himself and boost his popularity. Why is Ryan Garcia famous now? Because he's a dude who wants to fight Tank, and that's the mega fight. Outside of Tank, people don't really give a fuck about Ryan Garcia that much. Not to mention, a lot of people speculate that most of his Instagram followers were bought anyway. And also, and like I said, some fucking teeny bopper fucking chicks that listen to One Direction that think he's hot. Them bitches don't buy pay-per-views. Okay, this is why people, when people talk about his following, I'm like, okay, how come that doesn't translate to his fight persons? Okay, how come he still doesn't make the most in the division? Right, because them hoes don't pay to see him fight. They just Google his fucking name and they go on his Instagram. They say, "Oh my God, you're cute. You want to be my boyfriend?" And then they go about their merry way. They don't spend any fucking money. Like y'all keep talking about this fan base. You keep talking about this magical fan base that don't fucking exist. If they're not paying to watch you fight, they don't give a fuck about you. That is the reality. If they are not paying any money to watch you fight, they don't give a fuck. They are not your fans. There are people that may talk a gang of shit on Twitter, but they don't care. It's like if you go based off Twitter, Terrence Crawford has all these fans, but then when you look at his actual sales, don't nobody give a fuck about Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
So stop talking all this bullshit about, oh, this is the biggest fight. And shut up. Nobody fuck.
And I was gonna say, like, the last top ranked fight I've been to was the Berlanga and Angulo fight at the Hulu Theater, and boy, let me tell you, the Hulu Theater is garbage. Like, that venue is so small; it only holds up to, like, I think like 2,000 to 3,000 people. But when the broadcast made it seem like there were so many people inside of the crowd, which, yeah, it was packed out, but it's like, this is how Top Rank be selling these cards. Like I would assume like Top Rank would be having like bigger venues, so you could actually get more people involved. Because like at least with like the zone cards, like they do like a pretty good job like getting bigger stadiums, so at least people can like go to the fight and actually get to know about the fighters and see more spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think Top Rank is like very fake for like hyperactively just falsifying the promotion of a fight venue when it's clearly not hyped up to be like a sold out like event.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, people just think that because we're talking about someone, they have like a super huge, massive fan base, and it's like, no, they're just in the news cycle. They're just in the news cycle, and they're in the news cycle often. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have this massive fan base and it's going to be a massive fight. Like, it's all going to be a bunch of bullshit. Like, you know, like people talked about how Tyson Fury is some kind of fucking mega draw now because of the Wilder fight. He went back home and fought Dillian White. Man, that bullshit sold like 40,000 pay-per-views over here. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody fucking cared.
Like he doesn't sell out like a crowd at all, and I'm pretty sure like
I mean, in the UK, the arena was stacked, but that's because the tickets are cheap. They were giving the tickets away, damn.
they're not being sold for like $100 and higher. They're
Yeah,
being
exactly.
sold for like 20 bucks.
Yeah, they were over there giving tickets away, comping tickets, all kinds of crazy shit. So yeah, no, I don't know. People just say shit, and that's why being promoted off media is so important now because you can trick entire generations of people to thinking somebody was something that they weren't. Like, you know, it's like a lot of these dudes. It's like a lot of these dudes that hate on Errol Spence because he sells. Like if you look at dudes like Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones, it's like they were barely moving numbers anyway themselves. People are like, oh, because Roy Jones was this and that, he's super famous. I'm like, yeah, but when he was actually fighting, what were his numbers? Yeah, his numbers weren't fantastic. So it's like, yeah, man, like
Yeah, he was fighting basically the same level of opponents as Crawford does now.
no, that's not true. What I was gonna say, he was fighting good opposition because he fought people like Bernard Hopkins, etc., etc. It's just that the numbers he was selling around Crawford numbers. He was fighting better opposition, but he was basically making Crawford's numbers, and that's why a lot of those people kept picking Crawford to win. They keep sucking his dick. They keep Crawford. It's like, yeah, because you can sympathize with him, because you're the type of dude that's mad at seeing other people do what you might perceive as less, but making the same or more money. So it's like that's your fault. You should have, and that's another thing. These dudes that are historically bad at doing business, they like Terrence Crawford more because they can relate to him. They can relate to him because they're also bad at doing business. So they're like, oh, we can understand what he's saying because we suck at business too. And it's like, yeah, you guys are all dumbasses, so you understand what the dumbass is saying. So anybody that comes in with some intelligence, you don't trust them.
Yeah, that's why people like Truth Teller be, talking like a retard, thinking that fights are gonna happen when they clearly don't have them.
That motherfucker in here, real life, like defending a fight that's not scheduled. Are you saying it's not gonna happen? Are you saying it's not gonna happen? Are you
It's
saying?
gonna happen.
Well, I don't know because it's not fucking.
Like we don't fucking know, dude. But the
it's like there's no fucking date. All somebody told you is that some paperwork got done. That's all.
Yeah.
The ink is not even dry. Like I'm pretty sure that Haney's gonna fight Lomachenko, but I don't know because it's not scheduled. Like
Yeah.
we've just been told that fight's next. They working on it. Like, all right.
Yeah, some other fight news I heard was that Tony Harrison and Fundora got finalized. I believe so, and I think Cody Crowley. I heard he's gonna fight. I wasn't so sure about it, but I think I heard he's gonna fight. I think maybe Butayev. I'm not too sure. That could be a rumor.
Well, I've always liked Tony Harrison. Very good boxer, very good character, especially in the first Charlo build-up. But Fundora, oh fuck, I don't know. I'm not even sure why he took that shit right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can't win. It's just it looks bad because don't get me wrong. Tony Harrison beat up Sergio Garcia cleaner than Fundora did. But styles make fights, and if he can throw his shots and actually step off the line, yeah, he could probably beat Fundora. But if not, especially with those uppercuts that Fundora squeezes in on the inside, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. But it's a good fight. It's for an eliminator while Charlo clears Tim Tszyu out, so that's cool. As far as the other one, Cody Crowley versus Butayev. Butayev is gonna beat the shit out of Cody Crowley. I mean, I understand he had a decent performance against Quadratio Armadillo, or whatever the fuck his name is, but that dude wasn't good. Yeah, like people were like, I remember when he was ranked number 1 for Errol Spence belt or some shit. People were like, oh shit, Spence will have to fight Armadillo. I'm like,
Armadillo.
And then I watch him fight, and I'm like, man, this like isn't good. Like, what are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah, he was glorifying on, I'm gonna get that Spence payday, and then Cody comes around and he's like, nah, man, I quit boxing.
I mean, that nigga's not good, and I'm not. And Cody Crowley's talented. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. Cody Crowley is a talented fighter, but at the end of the day, like I think Armadillo's his best opponent. Man, Butayev is gonna clear him. Butayev is gonna beat the shit out of him. Butayev is just Cody Crowley doesn't do one particular thing good enough to really trouble Butayev. He doesn't punch hard enough. He doesn't have good enough footwork. He doesn't have good enough hand speed. His jab is good. Like Butayev is gonna get in there and bomb on his ass. So
Yeah, I think so.
that's a good fight, though. That's a good comeback fight. I wish somebody would fight Boots. I've heard that Thurman, Rashidi, and Stanionis have all turned down Boots fights at this point, so it looks garbage.
Wait, really? Rashidi turned down Boots?
That's what Boots' daddy said.
Who?
Boots' father.
What? Yo!
No,
Wow! That's
That's-
crazy.
that's what they said.
Bro, Rashidi, why would you do that, bro? Come on.
Yeah.
Damn. That's terrible, man. Yeah, ever since that July performance or like whenever Rashidi came into PBC, I'm just like, okay, like when is he coming back into the ring? Because it's been over like 3.5 months or 4.5 months, and it's like, I understand like people would say he should fight Boots like next, but it's like at least fight somebody. Like you and Cody Crowley would make the most sense right now if you just want to like take it easy, not get fed right to the Lions den.
Yeah, that's true. He's fucking. That's definitely true. He was honestly like dudes like Cody Crowley ducking him honestly makes sense to me. That's perfectly fine. When we talk about Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. and like all these other dudes that are supposed to be fighting, it's like even Thurman. It's like, oh come on, man. Like then they be saying, oh, we want all this money, we're waiting on titles to clear up. I'm like, you guys are fucking pathetic, bro. It looks and keep in mind like Rashidi weighed in at like 154 his last welterweight fight, so it's like damn, is it a weight issue or is it you just don't want to like I don't know. When I heard that I was like fuck.
I'm just hoping that if he's gonna stay at welterweight, he better not say, oh well, I can't fight Jaron Ennis for the title eliminator, blah blah blah, because of X, Y, and Z. But that's just sad.
I mean, I guess I get it, but they're all trying to wait on Spencer Crawford, and I'm like, Spencer Crawford. I hope y'all understand. Spencer Crawford is not going to happen. It's done. They're not going to unify. The Crawford is going to stay over there with his little fucking belt and do whatever the fuck it is he's doing. Because the thing is, because now that Crawford has a terrible relationship with PBC, he can't let go of that fucking belt. There's all the smoke at PBC is at 154. Yep. So unless he wants to fight fucking in like Top Rank, don't want to have nothing to do with him. The Zone don't want to have nothing to do with him, or Matchroom better. So he's fucked. So he's not gonna have to hang on to that little bitty strap to demand the little bit of money he's getting and keep a piece of the welterweight division as a little island to hang on. But yeah, I don't know what these niggas are waiting on because they never gonna fight. So maybe they're waiting on Errol Spence to vacate or something. But I mean, as far as the rankings are concerned, all these dudes aren't in line for fucking title shots. Like the only people that are in line for title shots are John Anderson, Virgil Ortiz Jr., and fucking Stanionis. So like unless they're really fighting those people, these niggas aren't getting shit. Like Thurman not getting shit. Allegedly Thurman is the WBA. I mean WBC number one. Maybe he might get that, but yeah, if your name is Thurman, if your name is Thurman, Stanionis, Boots, or Virgil, these niggas aren't getting anything. The Rashidi, the Rudolph, the Conor Ben, the Butayev, the Crowleys, the Armadillo, like you niggas are not getting shit. So you may as well try to clip one of the people that is getting something.
I'm just curious of like who's really gonna fight each other when Errol Spence decides to move up, and then it's basically Boots and maybe Virgil Ortiz, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Like I think Virgil Ortiz, he's gonna get clipped off like real quick. But yeah, I think it's probably gonna be Boots and Stanionis, and I'd probably say that's it. I don't know about Rashidi Ellis and all the other guys. Like, the welterweight division is like definitely one of the most deadliest divisions. When it comes to like talent, but it's just like there's not that many people that are probably gonna stay at the top, other than like just Jaron Ennis and maybe like a couple other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that Gerard is clear all, but like I said, Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz Jr., that's a 50-50. But outside of that, yeah, it's going to be the Gerard Ennis show. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to just hurry up and try to fight him and put these dudes. Because the more championship level experience he gets, the better he's going to be. And it's just the beatdown is just going to be worse. So you may as well try to get him before he gets. You may as well try to get him before he gets even more experienced than he already is. So, I don't know. These dudes keep thinking high risk, low reward, and okay, well, who the fuck else you gonna fight? They're thinking maybe like 3 or 4 other welterweight bums, and I'm like, okay, well the division is drying up with the bum supply. Okay, people are getting good, so you have to make some moves. Somebody got to give up some booty here. Somebody got to give it up.
Shit, don't forget about Ugas. He could easily come back and definitely make a splash.
Well, I don't know about splash, but he could try to do something. Like him and Thurman is good, I guess. But we also got Michael Fox. We got Jamal James,
Brian Norman Jr.
Which somebody needs to get him some fights because he's like I said, he allegedly beats the shit out of everybody in sparring, but like we hardly see him fight. So
yeah, another good fighter that's taken on a lot of good. Well, he's gonna be on the come up. I forgot his name, but like I think he's out of the Philly area. Hold on. Let me take a look at the box rec. But yeah, there's like some really good welterweights that nobody talks about, and I think once 140 guys move up to welterweight, they're gonna get cooked. But like the up and coming welterweights, like I'll just take off Tiger Johnson because I don't think that's gonna be like an up and coming talent. But there's this one guy named Luis Lopez. He's pretty decent. And I can't forget about Lucas Santa Maria. I think if he plans to go back down to 147, he could definitely make a lot of noise. And there's Marcus Valle. I talked to him and his brother Dominic, but he's 6-0 right now at 23 years old. And maybe James Martin. I think James Martin can definitely take out a lot of guys. And then
isn't that the nigga that has 0 knockouts at welterweight?
Yeah,
he's the one that whooped Milnicki ass.
yeah. He beat the shit out of Vito.
I mean, he's decent, but he ain't gonna make no noise at welterweight. No, he's not even gonna take the belt.
Yeah, I mean everybody else is basically on the they're on the watch list. There's really there's not like anybody good yet. Like I think like the next best guy that could be somewhat good is maybe Paul Kroll, and then maybe Shanar Bunch.
Hell no.
Really, Paul Kroll? Like you don't think he's good?
I'm not saying he's not good, but you're naming a bunch of, with all due respect, marginal talent. These dudes, they're like, when I say marginal, I mean dudes that will probably never consistently be top 10. Like, they'll get a top 10 slot and then get knocked the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes that you're talking about, they're not going to be top 10. Like, I mean, Santa Maria is cool, but at 154, like,
yeah, he got cooked.
Yeah, Paul, James Martin. Man, what are we talking about? What are we really talking about here? Like,
Kelvin Davis is gonna be knocked off.
Yeah, these dudes are cool. They can fight some. They'll probably put on entertaining and challenging fights for some of the top 10. But we talk like these are dudes who would get knocked out by the top 5 fighters in any of these divisions, and will probably get handily beaten by the bottom by the bottom 6 to 10. So
yeah.
It's like, man, I ain't even trying to hear all that. Like, these dudes are cool. They can fight some. They have decent skill sets, but they're a fucking highlight reel for the elite.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking like Stan Jonas by himself could clear everybody we just talked about, including Santa Maria.
Yeah, Stanionis, he'll beat like anybody like top 200s and 300s, even 100s.
Yeah, like Stan Jonas is the type of dude. Like he's really talented. He's really strong. You know, but he's one of those dudes that if you play with him or you're not an A-level fighter, you're probably not gonna beat him. Like because I think Stan Jonas is an A-level fighter, and
Yeah, I
think
think so. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like borderline S minus.
yeah, and I think that he's only gonna lose to A-level fighters. So if you can't clear Stan Jonas, then you're not beating anybody. I think it's better than Stan Jonas. Like that'd be some stupid logic.
Shit, even Butayev, you know, he's definitely there too. Like, you know, he's a
Butayev
dog.
Butayev is excellent. And the thing is, even though he lost the decision because he couldn't keep his head off the line from Stan Jonas' jab. If Butayev had a little bit more defensive responsibility and could actually either parry or slip a jab, he would have won that fight because he beat the shit out of
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I agree.
He whooped Stan Jonas' ass. Even though he lost.
Actually, do you want to know? Do you want to know like another good fight for either Stanionis or Butayev? Alexis Roca. I think that's. Oh wait, what?
I said, yeah, those are good fights.
Yeah, because like I think Alexis Roca, like he'll be put into deep waters with them, and I don't think his chin will hold up. But I think those are, you know, crusher blowing fights.
Yeah, I agree. Those are definitely good fights. I think he loses to both, but yeah, still a good fight. Still a good chance for him to test himself. But and I'm not even basing that on what I've seen from the last fight. I'm basing that because like I saw how he fought Rashidi, and I know Rashidi's a special case, but it's like you know, when I get past Rashidi. I get past him. Because honestly, if Rashidi fought either one of them, I think Rashidi could probably beat Butayev decently. That's picking the confidence. But with Stan
Yeah,
Jonas,
Butayev and Rashidi, that's a difficult ass match.
yeah, but like I think I would edge Rashidi on that one pretty confidently, just based on pure fucking hand speed and gas tank. But with Stan Jonas, I don't fucking know. Stan Jonas fucking catch you with the body, slow you down, slow your feet down, and it's a harder fight. So yeah.
Yeah, because I just don't know who's gonna take over once Errol Spence leaves. Like, I think Boots should be like the one to, you know, get undisputed and then leave up to 54. But if he can't get Crawford out of the way, if Crawford acts like a diva and holds up the division like an asshole, then I think Boots will at least leave unified, and then Crawford, he's gonna sail off to let the sunset being a failure. But yeah, the welterweight division is definitely on hold until like everybody gets knocked off, and then you know, same thing with like 154, because like people are really thinking like Jermell Charlo. Like, you got some of those weirdos that think Tim Tszyu could actually beat Charlo, and I'm like in what world? Like Charlo's gonna spank him, and then you know he should just move up to like 160.
I mean, of course, it's boxing. Anybody can beat anybody, but like the probability that Tim Tszyu is going to get in there and really beat Charlo is just super low. Like, and the thing is, people can't even tell you how. Oh, Tim Tszyu gonna watch Charlo. Okay, how? Based off what? Like, based off of what? Aside from sheer unadulterated desire, are you basing it? Because Tim Tszyu has shown nothing that indicates he beats Charlo. I mean, shit, do niggas have memory loss? His American debut, he gets dropped in the fucking first round by a dude with a 50% knockout ratio. Dude has 11 knockouts to his fucking name, and he's getting knocked down in the first round of his American debut. So it's like, what are we talking about?
Erickson Lubin would stop him.
I mean, shit. Yeah, you know, maybe it's possible if he stopped him early, but with his chin, the longer Lubin fights last, the less likely it is that he fucking wins with the puncher. Because I'll give him
He's
this.
got that curse mark on him.
Yeah, I'll give him this. Tim Tszyu is strong. He can take a good punch and he can punch. But outside of that, he doesn't do anything well enough. He doesn't jab enough. He is very strong, but he doesn't move his head. He doesn't move his feet really. he's honestly like when I think of Tim Tszyu, I really think of like a really, really, really poor man staying on this. I think a poor man staying on this that's not as polished, doesn't go to the body as often. He's there to put on a show, but he don't get beat up. He don't get beat up, but he might actually get knocked the fuck out because he's not good. Like he's not, as far as fundamentally speaking, and just having a lot of the intangibles when it comes to boxing, he's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I can even see Brian Mendoza beat his ass because Brian he's a bona fide boxer puncher, and not a lot of people talk about how good of a switch up is, but that outside game to like counter punching ability is just wild.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, I don't know if I'd pick him to win that particular fight, but it's very possible as long as he stays focused. He implements his, the things I saw with the recent Rosario fight. As long as he stays sharp, then yeah, a lot of different shit is possible. But yeah, no, like, that's an actual like 50-50. Like Brian Mendoza could win that fight, and the fact that we're saying that is exactly why I don't think he beat Charlo, because Brian Mendoza will get in there and Charlo and get fucking dusty. He'll get it. He'll get that smoke. So,
Yeah.
But I feel like Jesus Ramos could fuck around and clear Tim Tszyu if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah,
I feel like
Jesus Ramos.
Yeah, I feel like Jesus Ramos can get in there right now and probably clear Tim Tszyu. Yeah, man, these niggas they're not gonna learn. They're certifying Tim Tszyu off of being somebody's son. But the thing is, especially when you look at that, look at the sons of famous boxers today. Are any of them niggas good?
No.
Them niggas are all horrible. Like Rockman Jr. just got his shit destroyed by fucking Greg Hardy, the nigga that was like not good at anything. And then you got Conor Benn, who's a fucking cherry picking drug addict, so that's not good. You got Eubank Jr., who sucks all kinds of dick. He is just not good. I mean, he tightened up some under Roy Jones Jr., but he's still cherry picking bum. He's fighting fucking Liam Smith. He's fighting some leftovers. Like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, and then who else we fucking got? Oh, we got the Vargas boys. They seem good, but again, these niggas have had 5 fights between the 3 of them. So how the fuck do we know?
Yeah, I just don't like I don't believe in any of them yet until they beat like top 10 guys, but I don't see that happening. I think all of them get knocked out eventually, and what gets me pissed off is that when you're a son of a good athlete, like, I'll just use Nico Ali Walsh, great example, but like if I were to speak to him, like I'm just gonna be honest with him, like, why do you need to follow your grandfather's legacy? Because it's like you don't need to do that. Like, you could find other careers in your life to branch out and just say, look, I'm just a grandson of a great fighter. But it's like, why just gaslight yourself and put all this pressure? Because it's like the minute when somebody comes in and takes your shine away, and you get embarrassed, and you were already hyped up from day one, and people are putting you in all these pedestals to be like, the ultra badass, taking everybody out. It's like I feel like that's such a bad mindset to put on anybody's mind when they're young and ambitious to think that they're going to be good. But it's like nobody can be legendary all the time. Like, it takes very few people with a high level of dedication and discipline to even be up there. So it's like, how do you even know if you can even be up there? Because it's like, if you're not going to do the things that your past ancestry did at one point in time, then why go through that stress?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my thing is, like I said, they're trying to measure this guy against the grain, and it's like, okay, well, if we look across the board, the sons of these fighters don't seem to be measuring up. And based on Tim's American debut, like, I don't see him doing anything. I'm not saying he's not going to be competitive in the division, but there's a lot of things he has to tighten up. Also, they could have fought this year already, but Tim Tszyu had to delay it due to fucking, I believe, either injury or yeah, I think he had like a wrist injury or some shit. So it's like, look at this motherfucker, man. Like, and then you're giving Charlo time to rest. It's like, oh my god, bro, you're gonna get
Yeah,
fucking.
you're gonna make Charlo way more dangerous.
Yeah, so it's either the injury thing or maybe he's taking time to juice or he has to like burn the weight off. It's some bullshit, but he thinks that he's gonna get in here and whatever he's doing is gonna help him. I'm like, bro, did you not just see Castano? Castano did the same dumb shit. His dumbass lied about an injury to delay the fight, when really it was his fat ass having to lose weight. And then guess what? He went in with that new strategy. He went in the next fight and got knocked the fuck out. So it's like, yeah, all these tactics are cool and everything, but it's not gonna do anything. You're gonna get worked on. So just go ahead, take your fucking 15 minutes of fame. And the thing is, when you lose, don't be a bitch like Keith Thurman. Actually, go back and try to fight the people. Like pick off some of these prospects, like fucking Joey Spencer or Xander Zayas or Stanionis or some of these dudes. Some of these dudes, yeah, or Jesus Ramos. Like yeah, like dude, clear some of these motherfuckers, man. Like put in some work. Like Keith Thurman could have set himself on the path to being the ultimate prospect destroyer at welterweight, but
Yeah,
he decided
man,
to
he
be
would have made so much money doing that.
he'd be able to fight like 2 or 3 times a year. He would have made a bunch of money. But the thing is, because the prospects are dangerous now, he doesn't want to earn it. He wants $10 million and he wants to retire. Like Keith Thurman is another dude. Keith Thurman is another dude that does not want to box anymore, but he's short and he's not attractive enough to be a model. So he has to fight. Like Keith Thurman, look at it. Keith Thurman
Can't
is
even act in movies.
yeah, like I mean, he doesn't have any acting talent. Not to mention he has a fucking lisp. He can't even speak good English. Keith Thurman is one of these dudes that without money he would have no hope. That's just real shit. I'm sorry, but it's just the facts. Like Tevin Farmer, wouldn't have the bitch he got if he didn't have any money. I'm just being honest. Most of these
His girlfriend doesn't seem to show the expression.
right, most of these dudes are fucking short, angry, insecure, and this is a lot of the reason why they got into combat sports because they didn't want to get bullied no more. So a lot of these dudes, without this money, they're not living the lifestyle they're living. They're not having access to the hoes they have access to. And Keith Thurman is one of those dudes. Keith Thurman, like I said, he doesn't have a lot of charisma. He's not very tall. He's not particularly attractive. He speaks with a lisp, and he doesn't want to box anymore. And he hasn't spent a lot of time setting up other businesses to make any money. That's why he wants like $10 to $15 million for his next 2 fights because he wants to get the fuck out of this business, but he doesn't want to be in a position where he got to rely on fucking on fighting anymore. Like Amir Khan was in the same situation. Amir Khan is another dude. He's more like Amir Khan is better looking than Keith Thurman, but he doesn't have that much charisma. He doesn't have a lot of fucking acting chops or talent. He had side businesses, but then he fucked off all his money by making shitty investments. So what do you have to do? You gotta fight. He had to come back. He had to fight Terrence Crawford. He had to fight Kell Brook because he needed to get money to keep the loan sharks off his ass, to keep the tax man off his ass, shit like that. So it's just the reality. It's why a lot of these people are now getting, they're getting smarter and they're doing OnlyFans, they're doing modeling. Like if they really don't want to box, they're getting the fuck out of boxing. Keith Thurman has built his entire life on boxing, and now he's over 30 and he don't know what the fuck else to do.
Yeah, well, that's why, that's why that I even said, earlier, you should always have that backup plan of having a good career in something, because, like I said, I come from a hardworking family where they told me ever since being young, always have a plan of what you want to do, and if you have other plans on top of that, just make sure that you have your original main backup plan, because but the more skills you harness as an individual, you get to market yourself out and branch out more, and not just rely off one stream of income and think that's at the end all be all. And I think that's where you get people that are freeloaders in the world, because they don't want to work hard, they don't want to be successful, they don't want to be a better man in case they ever do have a family, because it's I personally see that a lot with people that I've grown up with, and they don't end up being successful, and then they go to these very weird routes of just going through one path of thinking this is all I got to do, and it's not. You're just not making yourself better as an individual to seek out other opportunities that can help you grow. And like, for
Right.
myself, like I already have like a plan of what I want to do, but for people like Thurman and all the other people, like, they're not putting themselves out there to expand themselves even greater.
Well, it's a behavioral contagion. Like, you know how people say that, you are who you're around, that kind of thing. And
Yeah,
it's like at the beginning of the show. They see people like Terrence Crawford, like Canelo, like Logan and Jake Paul, like all these Mungia, all these dudes, Virgil Ortiz Jr. They see all these dudes, Ryan Garcia. They see all these dudes getting payouts for not having to actually go through the fire and fight certified people. So again, they're like, why should I? It's kind of like when you're around a bunch of people where all they do is smoke weed all day, but they somehow manage to keep their rent paid, and you're going to work all the fucking time. Eventually, you're going to get tired of that. You're going to be like, how the fuck do you guys not do shit all day, but manage to keep your rent paid, and you don't have rich parents? Like, what do y'all do to where y'all can chill all the time and still be fine? I'm working like a dog here, and I'm scared every day about where the money's coming from, and y'all have no worries at all. And and it's like the OnlyFans shit. The reason why OnlyFans is getting popular, there's a lot of chicks out there that are, that look good, but they're going to school, or they're fucking doing MMA or boxing, either stressing out over working and studying, getting their asses beat, and they're like, this hoe is riding around in a fucking Porsche and she makes money from her iPhone. Why the fuck should that be you? No,
just
real
like
shit.
even on fucking recruit difficulty.
Right, and it's completely understandable. Like, you'll see women, a new crop of women turn 18 every fucking year, and they're like, well, shit,
Year.
yeah, they're like, shit, I look better than that bitch, and that bitch is making X amount of money on her fucking iPhone. Why the fuck should I have to go to work and do all this dumb shit? Like, why would I spend 4 years in college? I'm be fucking anyway. I'm gonna be doing all kinds of crazy sexual shit anyway. Why the fuck would I do all of that for free? Come out, still have to work a job and live paycheck to paycheck like everybody else, when I can just skip all that dumb shit, put some of it on tape, and live a good life like her. Why should I have to do all that? And that's why a lot of other fighters go through. A lot of other fighters are like, this motherfucker doesn't have to fight anybody. The fuck do I gotta fight somebody for? I mean, shit. Like, we're talking about Tank, right? Tank was on an interview with somebody, and he was like, they talking about me, but them niggas ain't fighting nobody either. He was talking about fucking Devin Haney, Teofimo Campos, whatever. Even though he was wrong, because them niggas fought each other, but that's the point I'm making. He's like, if those motherfuckers are doing this, why the fuck can't that be me? Why can't that be me? Why can't I live that life? Why do I gotta work super hard for my money and those bitches just getting it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that shit is contagious, and that's why it's up to the fans to not support certain shit. That's why it's up to the fans to utilize their dollars to see what they're going to support and what they're not going to support. People have already said they're going to support Canelo no matter who he fights. Canelo could fucking send me a contract and niggas would buy it. It would make no sense. But that's why fan representation is important.
Would you fight Canelo?
Hell yeah, shit. I'll have, bro. I would get knocked the fuck out by Canelo Alvarez for $500,000. You give me $500,000 after taxes, I will literally disappear from the face of the earth right now. Nobody will ever hear from me the fuck again. And then one day my mother will just randomly get a text message with my new address. Like, no bullshit. Like half a million would solve every problem. Well, I don't really have a lot of money problems currently, but like, it would put me on the right path to where I want to be in life. It'd be perfect. $500,000. I'm not greedy. Would I take more? Absolutely. Give me $500,000 plus 10% of whatever the fight generates. Perfect. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I would happily fucking fight Canelo Alvarez. You wouldn't need, like I said, you wouldn't need to pay me that much. Just give me $500,000 after taxes. Done.
Yeah,
Done.
Like 5-10 million.
Oh my god, 5-10 million would be amazing. You, like I said, you give me 1 million, I'm straight, because I'm a complete nobody. Yeah, and I'll do all the work. I'll fucking hype up the fight. I'll talk all kinds of shit. I'll train for like 6 months. I'll lose a bunch of weight really fast. Like, it won't even be shit, bro.
Shit, I'll do that.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna go out like that. I'm gonna make sure.
Shit, I'll take a dive. I wouldn't care. I'd absolutely take a dive. he'd sneeze and I'd be just fall out. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think that's kind of like the mindset with YouTube boxing now. Like a lot of these dudes just go in, get beat up, and they never get heard of at all.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like I said, boxing is something that's very difficult. Combat is very difficult. It's physically stressful. It's emotionally stressful, and not a lot of these dudes want to devote their life to it. I mean, look, we're talking about people who've been boxing their entire lives, and even they don't want to be in it anymore. What's up, Teach? Yeah, even they don't want to be in it anymore. So you taking someone who's been boxing their whole life who gets tired of it. Imagine a neophyte that's never had to fight for anything is suddenly in a situation where they're in fucking Mortal Kombat. Like it's shit is stressful. And like I said, I don't mind people who want to find other means to make money, but the thing is, get the fuck out. Stop having one toe in, one toe out where you're hogging up space. You're constantly clout chasing, shaking ass, and holding up fights and canceling fights. Like, do what you need to do, fight or whatever, but then get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
Like that's why dudes like Canelo and fucking Crawford and Fury and all these motherfuckers retire, get out of here. Like Canelo got a whole division on lockdown, and this nigga talking about fighting John Ryder. What the fuck? You
John Ryder's about to fight Zach Parker next week.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you got an entire division on lockdown, and this nigga talking about I need a tune-up. You just fought 40-year-old Triple G. What the fuck? What are you tuning up? That dude, he didn't even hurt you. He barely landed anything. He landed like what, 3 good punches? Like, oh my god! Like this is what the fuck I be talking about. Like, just get the fuck out of here, bro.
Another tune-up.
Yeah, isn't it? And you see Canelo, he gonna be in fucking Creed 3 or whatever. So you
Really?
you see this nigga already
Oh
doing
my
movies.
god!
Yeah, bro. He's
Get the hell out of here, man.
that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't mind.
I literally saw like a YouTube video where like Canelo gets like $1 million like every month with his investments.
Because he does. He's like in boxing, Canelo has made like almost like $500 million or some stupid shit. He makes good investments. Yeah, he makes good investments. He makes sure to get a lot of back end money from all his fights. So honestly, Canelo could live off the money his fights generate on YouTube, to be quite honest. But he's doing his thing. But that's what I mean, bro. He's taking up space and he's milking this shit.
Yeah,
He's
like compared. Yeah, like I was just gonna quickly add in, like compared to any other like billionaires, like IT billionaires, like they don't do the shit that Canelo does, and Canelo's just creating publicity at this point. Like he's trying to like image himself like Floyd, but he's just doing it in a really embarrassing manner. And it like honestly, like it's very sad because it's like Canelo's basically meaningless, like after boxing. Like don't be surprised if he comes out of his way to say that boxing didn't do anything for me. Like it just kind of gave me what I wanted, but he's gonna go through like that Mike Tyson like effect where he's like these these belts don't matter to me and blah blah blah. And I just have like a feeling like Canelo is going to like go through like long time depression, and he's gonna do some stupid shit like after boxing.
Are you kidding me? I think that I disagree. I think that after boxing, Canelo is going to be happy as a clam. Do you know how many movie scripts they can cast that nigga as the weird drug lord in? Like, and the good thing is he barely speaks any fucking English, so they don't even have to give him any English lines. But no, I think Canelo's gonna be happy as a clam. I think he's gonna be like, I made it out the sport. I barely got touched by anybody. Like even like Mayweather beat his ass, sure, but Bivol didn't. Like Bivol beat him boxing wise, but Bivol didn't really beat his ass. He didn't like destroy him. He just outboxed him. So Canelo's gonna be fucking fine. Like he's gonna I'm out of the sport. I'm doing modeling or whatever. I'm doing movies. I'm living my best life because boxing has done everything for that boy. That boy would have got killed somewhere in Mexico because they don't really. Well, actually, no, that's not true because he could pass for white, so he probably would have been cool down there. But yeah, he got him about in Mexico. He became a marketing superstar in the United States because he could pass for white, because people love that kind of shit. So yeah, bro, like he's gonna be fucking fine. He's gonna be
I
fucking
mean,
fine.
speaking about the Mexican thing, like most Mexicans don't like Canelo, and from like what I've been doing my research on, like where he's from in Guadalajara and Jalisco, I think like that's like the hood area where he's from. But yeah, not a lot of people really mess with him.
Well, yeah,
Like
the Mexican boxing fans don't like him because he's not giving them fights that they want to see. He's giving them fights where people know he's just gonna run over whoever he fights. Like there's like I said, out of the fights that he's given us, it's been fucking what? It's been Mayweather. It's been like Triple G, and it's been Bivol. And keep in mind, Bivol was an accident. They weren't taking Bivol seriously. They had no idea. These like I guarantee you, people in Canelo's camp didn't even watch Bivol fight. They were like, all right, this nigga's had like what, 15 fights, barely fought anybody. He hasn't had a knockout in 6 fights, so he can't punch worth shit. All right, yeah, let's get in here and clear this dude. And he got his ass whooped. Y'all got to remember, before he even fought Bivol, this nigga was talking about fighting Usyk. These motherfuckers had done no research. They had done no research. They were just talking crazy shit. So yeah, no, yeah, that's why they don't like him. He's giving them fights that they don't want, and outside of Mayweather and Triple G, the fights that he actually loses are gonna be accidental. Like I said, Bivol was a fucking fluke. That was an accident. They had no idea they were running into an ass whooping.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I said, like you said about the fan base, like that also plays a major role too, because it's like I
Most of
guarantee you,
Canelo's fans are in America. I mean,
Yeah,
like most of Canelo's fans, they identify as Mexican, sure, but most of these motherfuckers were born here, so
Yeah,
they
like,
have no
they're not-
no frame of reference for any of Canelo's teenage years. They have no frame of reference for Jalisco or Guadalajara, any of the hardships that he may
Yeah,
have
but
faced
they
as a
don't-
child. They have no frame of reference for any of that shit. 9 times out of 10, there's some fucking teenager from El Monte or Los Angeles or some shit, and they've never
Yeah.
lived any of the life. They've never lived any of the life that Canelo does. Like they wave around the flag for minority brownie points, but the reality is there is American as me. And don't get me wrong, I'm like that's not an insult. That's just the fucking truth.
Yeah,
That's
like
that's
they're
that's
not
the
from
fucking
Mexico. You don't live like the Mexican lifestyle.
Yeah, that's the goddamn truth. That whole like I said, they wave around the flag and they talk about the third world experience for minority points when it comes to politics. But the reality is there is American as my ass, Floyd Mayweather, and fucking Donald Trump. There's
Yeah,
American
you're
as
not
fucking
going through like the hardship. Like
yeah,
Mexico.
none of the bullshit that Canelo went through, his brother getting kidnapped by the cartels and all that dumb shit. None of them have no frame of reference for that. They have no frame of reference for
Canelo
having
would have
the,
been bodied.
yeah, they they cannot relate to him in the fucking slightest. All they know is that he's from Mexico. He can pass for white. He looks like a ginger white dude, and they support him because he fought Floyd Mayweather at one point. That's fucking it. That's literally it.
Yeah,
You know?
but it's like on top of that, it's just like I got like friends that are from Mexico, and they like I was talking with like one friend that's from the Jalisco area, and he told me like most people don't really like guys like Canelo to begin with because Mexico is like heavily segregated, so it's not really like the type of worldview where Canelo's how should I say, like pigmentation type is heavily respected, but just in boxing it's like people have like a high how should I say they have like a high tolerance in like having good fighters that they like. So as far as Canelo's reputation in Mexico, it's completely destroyed because he's not fighting nobody good, and he proved it ever since he got his first title against Matthew Hatton. So the whole Mexican fan base type of shit, that's not there in Mexico. His real quote unquote bullshit fans are in California. It's Mexican American retards that don't watch boxing, and they only get into it just to be racist.
Well, I'm not gonna go so far as to call him that, but I will say this. So when Oscar De La Hoya is from fucking East LA, Right. Oscar, yeah, Oscar De La Hoya from fucking East LA. They didn't like that nigga either. they didn't.
Yeah. Like they have this whole thing about like Chicanos and all that shit, and
Yeah, they didn't originally. They didn't like Oscar De La Hoya either. But what won them over was Oscar De La Hoya fought everybody. Oscar De La Hoya was fighting everybody. He fought everybody available. He didn't turn down a single ounce of smoke. That's why he was able to win over the Mexican population at home, because he fought everyone. Because at first they didn't like his ass either. They're like, nigga, you're not from Mexico. You're from fucking LA. The fuck are you talking about? You can't.
Yeah, like I was just about to say, like they did let the same thing to Jasmine Camacho Quinn when she won the Olympic gold medal for Puerto Rico, right? They try to like use like the whole like, oh well, she wasn't born from there, but yet she competed, but like she did it in like the fashion of where like she really wanted to like make history. But for Oscar's case, like he was a gold medalist that represented America, but let's just say if he did it for Mexico, like do people still keep that same energy of saying, oh well, nah man, like you ain't from Mexico, so screw you? Like, dude, like he got Mexican blood, so it don't matter. Like, you know, but the bloodline is still going to be traced back, you know, back to like the mainland. So it's like, why hate on somebody that wants to be successful for the, you know, ethnicity? I don't know, like,
Well,
I don't see that to be bad at all.
The one thing I really appreciate about the Mexican fan base is that they make you actually earn their fanship. Like, you know, like with the hardcore Mexican fan base that actually lives in Mexico, the one thing I appreciate about them is that you actually have to earn their respect. You actually have to earn their fandom.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna fucking hop in and support any goddamn body just because they happen to be Mexican. No. You have to actually earn their support. You have to actually fight the people that you're supposed to fight. That's one of the reasons why I appreciate the actual fans that actually live in Mexico, and the ones over here, yeah, they're just kind of biased. They're, like I said, they just wave around the flag. They wave around the flag. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, and the only thing is like never in your life would you actually switch places with those people and go live in the place that you're representing. It's the same thing as Triple G. Triple G will wave around the fucking Kazakh flag all goddamn day long. This motherfucker lives in Camarillo, California. So get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, just stop being a fucking fraud. Like me, technically, I'm like 96.4% some shit Nigerian. You never see me waving around a fucking Nigerian flag because I would never go live over there. Never in life. Like that shit bugs the fuck out of me so bad. Like, just cut the bullshit. Like I'm sorry. Like when I like,
hey, if you're waving Odo or Obo or Edo tribe, it still don't matter.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage and shit, but like just it reeks of fraudulence when that's not actually where you pledge your allegiance. Like, like I said, I'm technically whatever the fuck majority Nigerian. I've never been to fucking Nigeria. At some point, I'm
Black American, bro.
Yeah, at some point, I'm gonna visit Nigeria just to say I fucking went. And guess what? I'm still not gonna wave around that fucking flag because I have no frame of reference for that fucking life. And that shit makes me super mad when I see people doing that. It's weird. It's weird because like you would never go voluntarily live wherever the fuck that is. Yeah. Triple G will never go back to Kazakhstan. Do you fucking hear me? He will never live there again. Like Bivol and Better Be, if them niggas are never going back to fucking Russia, because why? Why would they do that? You know, like just like don't get me wrong, owning property in your homeland or whatever, that's dope. But you're never gonna go voluntarily live there anymore. It's over with. It's fucking over. It reminds me of all those fucking dummies that talk about how, oh, there's so much foreign money in boxing. Okay, cool. If that's the fucking case, why do people keep coming over here? Right, because this is where you go to get famous. Stop fucking talking to me about some dude and who gives a fuckistan and how much fucking money there is. If that was the case, Usyk and Lomachenko would be fighting in the Ukraine and be the biggest superstars over there. Oh, fuck. Ukraine is literally being bombed every day? Right. Like, stop.
No. I was also gonna point out, like, I'll use Miguel Cotto as a good example. Like, he doesn't go back to Puerto Rico often, but
None of them niggas do.
yeah,
None of them niggas do. And don't
because
get me wrong,
people
Puerto
know
Rico
who
is a
they
part of the
are.
United States, and it
Yeah.
seems like a cool place to go. But once them niggas get money, they never go back.
Yeah,
There's a reason for this.
like Giannis Antetokounmpo, he doesn't go back to Nigeria.
None of them
Like-
niggas do, bruh. None of them.
He's not like he's never gonna go to Nigeria. Like,
None of them. Like what they'll do is they'll make a press appearance or something, or like if there's a fucking storm, they'll donate
Yeah.
and be like, oh, we're gonna rebuild this together. But it's all fake shit. It's all fraudulent. None of them are ever gonna fucking live there. They're never gonna fucking be there. They're never gonna fucking die there. Like it's none of
Francis
that
Ngannou
bullshit.
doesn't go back to Cameroon and live there.
Bro, niggas from the UK don't go back to the UK and live there.
Thank
In
you.
the UK, it's kind of nice. but yeah, but they leave. That's why like when that's like when motherfuckers come over here and start talking about British boxing, nigga, go back and live over there then. Oh no, I'm gonna live in Vegas. Well then shut your fucking mouth, man.
Yeah, because like America's, the hot zone for sports.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like it gets on my nerves when people start talking about all this nationalist bullshit. Like to me,
Yeah.
don't try to big up any nation you ain't paying taxes in. That's how the fuck I figure. If you don't own any land in that nation and you're not paying that nation's taxes, then just shut the fuck up, man. Don't talk to me about this place is this place is that. We need to be doing it. Like shut the fuck up. Like that shit gets on my nerves. Like not only from a boxing perspective, but just from a people perspective. Like they'll be talking all this big shit about how this country. Like one time I was in college, a nigga literally got into an argument with me about the country of fucking Eritrea. And in case you don't know, Eritrea is this tiny little country in Africa that nobody know exists, that's been at war for like 70 fucking years. And this nigga was trying to convince me that Eritrea was like the best place on earth. And I'm like, my nigga, we're both in Santa Cruz right now. Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up talking
like,
to me. Yeah,
you're not gonna be fighting wars out there, but
yeah, like just be quiet, bro.
Yeah.
Like, don't even fucking
not-
come to me with that bullshit.
yeah, like I'm not like a statist, but every time when people bring up the statist nationalist bullshit, all they do is just say, "Oh well, I have heritage in there, but look at like all the people that are suffering," and it's like, dude, you're not going out there fighting, about the battle, so it's like for you to keep yourself hostage or keep yourself safe, in your echo chamber in a first world country talking about a third world country, it's like there's no benefit in you talking because if anything it just makes you look like a slave or more
Yeah,
of
like-
one.
Like it's a cool talking point, I guess. Like for people that give a fuck, it's a cool talking point. It makes you seem more interesting. It makes you seem more worldly. But at the end of the day, like to me, don't use it as a nationalistic talking point. Don't use it as a boxing talking point. Don't use it as a political talking point. Like you can't come to me, us living in the same place, and then try to talk about the nationalistic pride and the super importance of somewhere else. It doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. Like if I move, let's say I signed a DAZN contract and I moved to fucking France and fought their cab drivers for the next 30 years. Do you think I'm gonna be over in France big upping the United States? No, I look like a fucking idiot. Like for example, I moved from California to Maryland. When I'm talking to people over here, do you think I big up California? Do you think I'm like, oh, California is the shit? Da, da, da? No, I look like a fucking idiot. Like, why'd you move then, dumbass? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like I can't stand when dumb niggas like. When
California's a shithole. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's an opinion
That place,
people can have.
that place is turning into like a Venezuela, sadly.
Yeah, and in some parts of it, that's true. But it's like I can't stand when people try to come at me and big up a place that they've either don't live in, would never live in, or have never been to. Like if it's one of the three, I'm gonna just tell you to shut the fuck up. Like don't even come talk to me. Like real shit. It's like
Yeah, it's like me going down to Florida, and then Floridians talk about New Yorkers going through cold weather, but then they look at you crazy wearing shorts in 55-degree weather. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like either come up here or just don't talk.
Right. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me from every angle. I get pissed off when Africans do it. I get pissed off when Mexicans do it. I get pissed off when fucking British people do it. I'm just like, man, shut your bitch ass up, bro. You talking all this big shit? Like Tyson Fury likes to run around and wave around the British flag. That nigga bought a house in Vegas. Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah,
The only
niggas
reason-
more like American.
Yeah, the only reason why that
Criminal as
motherfucker
American.
the only reason why that motherfucker is even in the UK right now is because of legal reasons. Because he now can't leave because of the Kinahan investigation. But other than that, he don't want to live over there. He don't want to live over there, bro.
So wait, if he got criminally prosecuted, then his ass is completely done.
I mean, he's able to fight in the UK because he has people over there he can pay and who can protect him. But right now, he can't leave the United Kingdom because it's not that he can't leave the United Kingdom. He just can't enter the United States again because he's on he's on that no-fly list due to his involvement
Yeah,
with Kinahan.
criminal watch us.
Yeah, so he's not allowed to enter the United States along with a fuck ton of other people. But trust
Yeah,
me,
man.
barring that, he would be here. Like, why do you think Stan Jonas spends all his time in Los Angeles? That nigga doesn't like Lithuania.
Yeah,
Like I said, he waves around the Lithuanian flag so the 15 of them that are awake when he fights in Los Angeles can watch, and so he can show some family pride. Like, oh, never forget where you came from. That as soon as that nigga gets one title shot, he is gone. He will never be in Lithuania ever again. He gonna bring his little wife here, whoever the fuck he got over here. He ain't never going back. The only reason why Pacquiao went back so often is because he thought he was gonna be the king of the Philippines. Now that they don't respect his bitch ass enough to be the president, man, bro, like, come on, bro, stop.
Pacquiao's a psychopath.
Like, man, like it's just
Fuck me,
like I don't know.
Pacquiao.
Something about fucking fraudulence just makes me sick to my stomach. There's just so much fraud. That shit gets on my nerves because the thing is, like, it'd be different if some people said shit one time, but they'll be waving flags and talk about I dedicate this to my country, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You dedicate this shit to your country, nigga. You haven't been over there in years.
I just hate it when people say like, "Oh, well, we're all winning." Like, we're all winning. Like the same people. No, the fuck you're not. Everybody thinks different.
And
Like,
the
people don't like you.
Yeah, and the thing is that rule is only that's exclusive to the United States. That's exclusive to the United States. In every other nation, if you were to come somewhere and you're from another nation and you start acting up and doing dumb shit, they will politely have, or sometimes violently, have you escorted the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
actually-
that whole melting pot thing is only in the United States. If you try that bullshit anywhere else, in most other places, you will be either politely or violently told to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so that's not an international concept, and that's perfectly fine. But again, it personally bothers me because honestly, you're not only lying to me, but you're lying to your family members back at home. Like, look at Ugas. Ugas still has a son in Cuba.
Really?
Oh hell yeah! You didn't see the build up to Spence versus Ugas. This nigga talks about
I
Cuba.
literally.
This nigga talks about Cuba. He talks about Cuba day in and day out. Oh, Cuba. Oh, the struggle. Oh, da. This nigga's over here living rich than a bitch. Fucking IG models. He has an autistic son that's still behind enemy lines in Cuba. And this is the nigga, man, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro.
Bro, you don't care about like your son, man.
That's what
I
I'm
lost
saying.
all respect for you.
The fraudulence is insane. You got your family in real life poverty. You, like I said, you over here spending this money, fucking these hoes, being rich as hell, and then you gonna talk to your autistic son in Cuba once a month on motherfucking FaceTime, as opposed to using your money to pull a SEAL Team 6 and get him the fuck out of there. Andy Cruz just defected from Cuba successfully. You telling me on that little ass island you couldn't set up a mission where Andy Cruz gets your son
out of there?
Yeah, like, bro, this is not time.
Wow, what a crazy motherfucker, man. F you, Ugas.
I'm telling you, bro, these niggas are frauds. These niggas are fucking frauds, and I get so tired of the bullshit. You know how many fucking Twitter posts I've had to see in this motherfucker talking about, oh,
Dude,
the great Cuban struggle and shit. Like, nigga, shut up.
I gotta make a video shitting on Ugas now. I gotta talk shit about him. Fuck him.
I mean, I don't
Like
mind
what
the
is?
guy as a fighter, but like he should be talking too much of that dumb shit. It's just, it's like I
It's
don't know, like I
like
said, something about fraudulence, just especially when it comes to politics, just makes me sick. Like, bro, stand on your shit. Be honest. Stand on what the fuck you talking about.
shit. Even like even with Israel Adesanya, like he did like the same thing like
Yeah,
2 months ago
yeah,
about talking
that
about
dude,
Nigeria.
that
He grew up
motherfucker waves around the Nigerian flag. This nigga lives in New Zealand.
yeah, like like dude, like New Zealand, like that's a whole different mindset compared to the Nigerian mindset. Like I'm actually friends with that Eradicate guy, but it's like he tells me like Nigeria doesn't think like what people like Izzy talk about.
No,
It's a, yeah,
Nigerians, real deal Nigerians don't deal with all that fucking like they wouldn't have put on for no Joe Rogan, that's for sure. They wouldn't have been like, oh, Joe Rogan is my nigga, man. Fuck the no, like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? Joe Rogan don't give a fuck about you for real. You think Joe Rogan would real life switch places with you? No, bro. Like, shut up. That's that. Real Nigerians would have had enough sense to not even comment on that. If you want to take Joe Rogan's side, you do that quietly. You know, like, because when you publicly take Joe Rogan's side, you're turning on black people. Like me personally, like me
yo,
personally, I knew that Joe Rogan has said that word plenty of times, so I was kind of surprised when people decided to come after it for him. Then I don't care about people coming after Joe Rogan because I don't really give a shit about him personally. But like you as a black public figure, how you gonna publicly take Joe Rogan's side? Like what the fuck is that? You should have just been quiet.
so wait,
That
what
would have
exactly?
yeah, that would have been a moment where you just shut up. He's still a white person saying nigga, like you can't just publicly endorse that. This dumbass doubled down and was like, "Oh yeah, Joe Rogan is my nigga. Fuck the noise," and then you get knocked out by this motherfucker here. It's like, shut your dumb ass up, bro. Talking
Yeah,
about oh Nigeria and all this
uh,
bullshit. Look at Kamara Usman. This nigga, he's in America and starring in Black Panther and shit. Like, bro, get out of here.
what? What? Wait, he's
Yeah,
a
he was.
Black Panther.
Yeah, he's in the new one. This podcast had like 2 or 3 lines or some shit.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's the closest that nigga's been to
Yeah.
Africa in a minute. Is Wakanda.
You coon.
Talking about oh Nigeria, this Nigeria, that man. Be
Yo,
quiet.
but yo, I gotta watch that new Black Panther movie because if it's shit, then I'm definitely gonna make like a retcon, like review of it because a lot of people tell me that movie's trash.
I mean, Kamar Usman. The thing is, though, like I believe if I'm not mistaken, he was actually born in Nigeria. I believe he was actually born there, and I believe a lot of his family was. But like a lot of these dudes, who weren't even born there or they moved really early. Like, if I let me Google it. Oh yeah, this nigga moved to the United States when he was 8 years old. Okay, so barely, fucking barely.
He's not even like a native, like a person from there.
You didn't. Well, I mean, he's native technically, but it's like you didn't even spend your formative years there. You went before you even started fucking puberty. Your balls hadn't even dropped yet, and you were already in the United States. So it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, you got taken care of here more than Nigeria took care of you.
Yeah, it's like, bro,
Yeah.
stop it. You wouldn't have been, you wouldn't have been no fucking real life major dude if you had stayed in Nigeria with your little bitty ass. Like the what's his name? What's the big fucker's name? Ngannou. Ngannou, I give a little bit more credit to because he was he was over there like for a minute. Like he was a fucking whole ass adult, and he went to France. He went to France, and then he moved over here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because he was homeless, heading into France.
Yeah, but also he's not even Nigerian. I think isn't that nigga like from fucking
Cameroonian.
Cameroon or some shit? Yeah.
Cameroon.
So him I give a little bit more credit to because he lived his entire formative years and some of his adulthood over there, and then he came over here. Okay, yeah. You I give a little bit more credit, even though you probably never want to live in that bitch ever again, because I watched his little documentary and that shit was fucking awful. So yeah, you probably never gonna really live over there again.
Yeah, Cameroon's economy is like horrible.
Yeah, but at the very least, you grew up over there. And but the thing is, also, he talks about respect for the motherland, but he don't really be talking about like, oh, constantly bringing up Cameroon and Nigeria and all that bullshit. He don't constantly be doing that. These niggas be raising flags and all this crazy shit. It's like, man, both y'all need to shut the fuck up.
But yeah, you're multi-millionaires. That's not giving back to your population. Like at least do something to be remembered for something. Like I'll use shit. I mean, I'll use Kyrie Irving as a good example. I mean, he gives back somewhat to his community, but it's like, if he were to go beyond that and say like, hey, black people, like, let's get together and let's make a decentralized community together, that would be historic because Kyrie, he'll be remembered for that. But it's like, you don't see too many guys do that because it's like they are so connected with the publicity to think that everything needs to be like about them. But it's like, if you really care about, your bloodline and who you're connected with, why not help out the people that are struggling, right? Like
It's
guys like Floyd Mayweather,
whenever Floyd talks about black shit, I just stop listening because I'm like, Floyd, you hardly do shit. You hardly do shit for the black community
anyway, so shut the fuck up. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example. Whenever Floyd talks about the black community, I'm like, okay, nigga, shut
black
up.
Community, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
like whenever
give me like $5 million, please.
Yeah, like whenever Floyd starts running his big ass mouth about the black community, I'm just like, Floyd, shut the fuck up. You don't care. I remember when Gucci was out here being racist, you doubled down, did the same dumb shit Adesanya did, and was like, oh yeah, I'ma still wear Gucci. I don't give a fuck. Shit, they ain't racist toward me, so I'm straight. It's like, man, shut up, Floyd. Like, that's why whenever Floyd talk, I don't be listening to what the fuck Floyd's saying.
Yeah,
like,
that's Gucci.
I'm like, bro, just hush. Ain't nobody trying to hear what the fuck you talking about. Just shut up. Shut the hell up.
Seems like all these fucking big time celebrities talk about, about the struggle, but yet you don't want to help people that are trying to be successful, that are struggling. Like that would make like the most sense if you want to use your money for that type of good deed. If I was in that position.
All I like me, the only thing that bothers me is when someone's
actions don't match up with their words. Don't talk passionately about shit that you really don't actively partake in. Don't talk about some shit. Don't constantly talk about some shit you're not either gonna try or do or put legitimate time into. Don't be repping shit that you really don't. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like when motherfuckers say they're from LA and they're really from like Riverside or some shit. It's just like, oh my god, just be quiet, bro. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But we've been neglecting to teach in the comment section. Let me see. Speaking of the exhibition, YouTube boxing stop. The corner man that do Rockman, Michael called out Michael B. Jordan.
Yo, Greg Hardy beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, and teach. The reality is because the actual professionals are not giving us what we want. So these other dudes have no incentive to actually fight real fights because, like I said, they're like, if they're over there not fighting anybody, making all this money, why do I have to fight someone? It's the same logic. Like I said, I look better than that bitch, and she pays her rent from her iPhone. Why should I have to go to college and like become something and take care of myself when I look better than her and she not only has a wealthy boyfriend, but she can pay her rent from her iPhone? It's the same kind of logic. So
it's the same thing with the black female gymnast Olympian, right? I forgot her fucking name.
Oh, was it Simone Biles?
Yeah, Simone.
She doesn't have OnlyFans.
Huh?
She doesn't have OnlyFans.
No. Like I'm saying, like how she tries to, branch her. Well, like as far as like what she used as far as like the whole mental health bullshit excuse to say that, things were like holding up her lifestyle. I think you brought up the thing about her and her, boyfriend or some shit. Like,
oh, well, I never denied that she had mental health issues. I think she had mental health issues because number one, she was part of that case with, I believe that Dr. Larry Nasser that was sexually assaulting people. So that's number one. Yeah, but that's she got a settlement off of that. But the number two thing is that season was when her then boyfriend, before he proposed, was actually starting with the Texans, and I believe that she had a mental illness, but it wasn't like, oh my god, like or it wasn't like, oh my god, I need medicine illness. It was, I don't want my new professional football player boyfriend to be down there fucking around type illness. So I need to be able to publicly withdraw from this Olympics while maintaining my public credibility. Because the thing is, as a black athlete, you're already going to take a lot of shit that you shouldn't be taking in the first place. So she just decided to use that. But in reality, she wanted to be down there because that nigga was just starting camp. He had just got his first paper. He had just signed his contract. He just got his first paper. You know you don't make shit in the Olympics, and she had only been on the cover of Wheaties and did a few commercials at this time. She didn't start getting big bread until after she was completely done and had more time to make off more money, more time and money to make off her endorsements. But yeah, that nigga was down there, you know. And also, when you're an athlete, you can easily get injured, and the gravy train could just be over. Like, look at Michael Phelps. Nobody's talking about that nigga no
more. He had everybody liking him, and then once he
Michael Phelps was on the cover of Wheaties. He did like 2 Subway commercials. Ain't nobody talking about that nigga right now. He's out of here. So that that dude had just signed a contract with the Texans. He was just going down there. He's in Texas. He's a professional fucking athlete. Just got his first big bread. Probably just bought a house in that motherfucker. And for a lot of the new dudes that just start off, it's time to fuck around. It's time to get into some shit. It's time to be around some people we would have never had access to if we weren't professional athletes. So she went down there to secure her investment, and lo and behold, that same year she got proposed to. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not hating on her, and I'm not saying that she. And I'm not saying that she didn't. Yeah, I'm not saying that she didn't have mental health issues. All I'm saying was it wasn't about like, oh my god, the world is falling down. It was, I need to make sure that nigga's on point. I need to make sure he's not down there getting hoes pregnant. You know, I need to make sure I'm available to where there's no temptation. So she took off from the Olympics, went down to Texas, made sure that motherfucker was straight all through training camp, probably running up and down there, you know, providing services and cooking and cleaning and doing all that bullshit. And then she came back married. That's how you do that. That's honestly, she needs to write a book.
Like, he got all that money.
I mean, no, because she's more world famous than him. He's a fucking nobody. But the difference is, because they could have both got hurt, but the difference is his money on contract, he has a certain amount of money guaranteed, whereas her, you know, depends on endorsements, blah, 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 you know, her public perception. And also because a lot of people from the Olympics, after, unless you go into like acting or reality television or something, you kind of just got to make that stretch, because not a lot of people are getting like LeBron level lifetime deals off of these fucking sporting companies from the Olympics. Like, I don't know if Michael Phelps's fucking deal with Subway was like lifetime, but I don't think it is. So you know, there's only so much you can do monetarily speaking. It's why you see a lot of these like other athletes get attached to people with, you know, with more bread in the meantime, in between time, until they can secure themselves. I mean, shit. Look at people like fucking Michelle Yao, Catherine Zeta-Jones, fucking even Eve the rapper. Eve the rapper got married to a French billionaire. We haven't heard this bitch. We haven't heard this bitch drop an album since what, 99? Like,
just garbage, man. Just people that just take advantage of just being with people that have like a shitload of money. But it's like, you're not happy. Like, you're just miserable. That's all. Like, you just want to like secure up the money. That's all.
Wait, I never hate on anybody that takes advantage of lames, because that's what lames are put on the earth for. They're here to be taken advantage of. But yeah, that's, you know, that's all I was on that specific thing. That's all I was saying. I believe that she had mental health issues. It just wasn't like, oh my god, I'm so worried about my success and my career and my legacy, because she had already cemented her legacy as literally the greatest gymnast of all time. She literally didn't go broke.
That's her thing.
she literally didn't need to do shit else. She, like, at the time that she was allegedly having this crisis, she had already cemented herself as the single most accomplished gymnast in all of world history. So it's like, what could you possibly be tripping over? And then when I put 2 and 2 together and I just looked at the timeline, I was like, oh, of course. And it's funny because like people don't people, when I talk about this, like black people understand. But like when you're talking to non-black people about this situation, they'll try to come at me like they know some shit. And I'm like, look, this is a little black girl. I've been in the black community my entire life. I know what was on her mind. I have plenty of female black cousins, and trust me, they all agree that, yeah, she was down there to secure a fucking investment. Sometimes the shit is not that deep. She told y'all the mental health excuse because if the people that already hated on her, like the non-black media, would have found out that she was going down there to secure some dick, they would have made fun of her. They would have been like, "Oh my God, look at her! She's just there. She's a gold digger. She's doing this. She's doing that." Yeah, she told that bullshit excuse to y'all. But me, I see through the bullshit. She was there to secure a fucking investment, make sure she had a man, and that's cool. That's good. That's good thinking. That means that she grew up in a household where motherfuckers is intelligent. Because if she wasn't there, yeah, he's gonna be doing dumb shit. He's a fucking stupid kid who just got paid a lot of fucking money and who a lot of women are gonna want to fuck. So yeah, he's gonna be down there doing stupid shit if he doesn't have any incentive to behave.
Who is this guy that she's with?
I have no idea his name. He's irrelevant. He's some nigga that played on the Texans.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look up this guy right now.
Yeah, they're fucking
Jonathan Owens, right?
Yeah,
and keep in mind, before that, like while she was in high school, she was getting fucked by some athlete, some like football player. But the thing is, that football player wasn't going pro. You see? That football player wasn't going pro. He was just some super athletic dude. She's like, I need a nigga that's gonna go pro, like somebody who's going to actually fucking do something. So she went down, upgraded, and made sure it's that.
Yeah, that's just like really, yeah, that's just wild. And now I'm actually hearing some recent news. Like, I guess
this nigga's a safety on the Houston Texans. Yeah, he's 27. He's 27 years old. Just signed. Oh shit, how long has he been in the fucking league? I don't know. This nigga's in the league. He went undrafted. He went undrafted in 2018. But he was on the Cardinals from 2018 to 19. He's been on the he's been active on the Texans since 2019. So yeah, she down there trying to make sure shit sticks.
That's gonna be funny to see what drama comes out of that.
Yeah, it says right here that on the spot he just signed a 2-year deal, worth about $2 million, and they're gonna see what happens with him. So and as of now, the nigga's on the injured reserve. So, oh shit, and they just got engaged in February of this year. He's on the injured reserve list. The ceremony gonna be delayed like a motherfucker. Cause she gonna try to see how this shit shakes out. Like, are you gonna be a football player or are you gonna be fucking injured? You see what I'm saying? So no, she moving smart. She's making the moves a smart person will make. But if she would have been honest with the media, they would have crucified her more than they've already done. So she's moving like an intelligent person. But you can't. For fucking lames and people who want to be offended about some shit, you can't. It's never that simple. Like, you can't be like, oh, she was worried about it. Because they would have described it how I'm describing it. They would have said, oh, she over here worried about dick instead of the Olympics. And it's like, well, yeah, because sometimes it's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
like, do you know how many great careers have been fucked off because of some pussy? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant almost got caught up because he was trying to get some pussy. He was trying to fuck some random bitch in a city he was a fucking idiot. So
did he really get prosecuted for that rapist scam?
Yeah, he got prosecuted, but he wasn't convicted because it was consensual. Like, that's
So that girl just set him up. Yeah, like,
yeah, it's an easy way to get money. It's a very easy way to get money.
So Kobe's not like a bad person at all. Yeah, like,
no, I mean, people call them a rapist, and the truth of the matter is that we will actually never know what happened except Kobe, the alleged victim, and God. But in a court of law, he was not convicted of rape, so that's what we have to go off of. I mean, if people want to call him a rapist. Yeah, if people want to call him a rapist because that's what people are saying and that makes other people feel better, that's perfectly fine. You can do that, but you'd be legally inaccurate because according to that,
he didn't do it. Like, the evidence shows.
Yeah, and it's not even because of that particular individual's lifestyle. I'm not saying that someone that's promiscuous can't be raped. It's just that in a particular court of law, in that specific circumstance, he happened to not be convicted. So, like I said, if you want to say he's a rapist, go ahead. Doesn't bother me, but legally you'd be incorrect.
Yeah, it's like if someone was the same shit that people did on Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose.
Yeah, it's like if someone accused me of that. I've never done it.
and I've never been talked to about it. I've never been accused of it. I've never been convicted of it. So you can call me that if it makes you feel better, but I haven't. I've never done it. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those things when you're in a group of people. If you're in like one of those like weird like soft groups of people, you can say it and get some fucking brownie points for it. But at the end of the day, it's incorrect. It's not right.
Yeah. Plus, it just like makes you look more dumber because like like the men that are actually being blamed for like the wrong things usually end up being the good people versus like the actual criminals that are like up in like the higher chains of power. Like those people are actually doing it.
That's the thing. The higher you go in power, like first off, when you have victims that's like real victims that have actually been assaulted, those things are difficult to cover up. When you have people that were originally it was consensual, but they just didn't get what they wanted out of the deal, so now they want to turn it into something else. Those situations are easier if you can usually pay those people off. Like for example, there's a critical difference between what happened to Harvey Weinstein and what happened to Matt Lauer. So Harvey Weinstein actually like assaulted people, held them down against their will, in addition to the other creepy shit of holding people's career hostage, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he's a piece of shit and he's a scumbag, okay? Matt Lauer's situation was completely different. Matt Lauer was having a consensual, albeit adulterous relationship with an individual that worked at NBC. The difference was she thought that he was going to leave his wife and she was going to come into that position and not have to work anymore. And like most dudes, he was like, why the fuck would I leave my wife when that would be incredibly expensive and I could just have the both of you like I do now? Why would I stop sleeping with the both of you, pay millions of dollars, and then just have you? Why the fuck does that make any kind of sense? And she didn't take that logic well, so she decided to blow it up and try to make it some shit that was not. Now, he didn't go to like jail for anything because he didn't do anything wrong, but he lost his job and shit, which is whatever. I mean, that's the price you pay with cheating on your wife. That's what you get. You shouldn't have been cheating on your wife in the first place, so you lost your fucking job.
Fuck that. But at least like you try to do it in like a
rape anybody. Like people were trying to make it seem like
aggressive manner.
Yeah, people were trying to make it seem like he was a rapist or he used his power. It's like, look, it doesn't count as like people say, oh, he's using his power as influence. It's not anyone's fault that people want to fuck people of power and influence. Like, look at Madonna. Madonna ain't fucking dudes her age. Look at J-Lo. J-Lo didn't. I understand people want to seem self-righteous and people want to be on the right side of the internet, but like, stop acting like a bitch. Like, recognize some real shit. The moment J-Lo got rid of Mark Anthony after she had her ethnically pure kids, because that's all she wanted from Mark Anthony's bitch ass, because Mark Anthony is not attractive. He's barely a good singer. He's real fucking skinny, not even close to J-Lo's type. So she wanted some ethnically pure kids. And then who did she get with? She started fucking her fucking bodyguard or some shit. That nigga was like 20 years younger than her. It's the same on both sides. People want to fuck people of power and influence, but unfortunately, the reality is men go more based off looks, and a lot of the time, women go based more off power and influence. That's just the cold hard facts. That's the cold hard facts. It's kind of like I was listening to a podcast, and a professor broke this shit down so smooth. This like he said this shit and it blew my mind because I literally taken a class on this and it never dawned on me. The professor was like, women like power so much that after the United States literally nuclear bombed Japan, American men were still held in high esteem in Japan and still are to this day, like American white men. I was like, holy shit.
So what? That means like American black men are like low esteem?
No, it just means that no matter the circumstances, it just means that no matter the circumstances, women are attracted to power. They're going to be attracted to power.
Oh yeah. People that
no matter what it does, like if
dominant.
yeah, like look at for example, who's a good modern day example of this shit? Oh shit, okay, cool. Look at AOC. AOC is spent like a bunch of time bitching up a storm about cishet white men, right? Who she getting nutted raw in at the house? Who she letting hit raw? some random cishet white dude that we've never even heard
A
of.
white
That's
man that just controls
that's
her
that's,
life.
that's rich than a bitch off of like tech or some shit. So it's like, yeah, it's like you,
IT.
yeah, it's like again, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not looking at what you're saying. I'm looking at your fucking actions. And if your actions don't line up with the wording, I'm not trusting you. You cannot be fucking trusted. So like yeah, so it's the same shit across the board. You can't complain about a group of people and then literally like sleep with and then love and then share life with that same group of people. Like you can't do that with me. You look crazy. Like you look fucking insane. Like it's the same with all of them. Like I remember what the fuck they called the Fab Four, whatever. There's AOC, there's Iman, and then there's two more of them. These are all people that made their fucking careers talking about minorities and cishet white men are evil and blah 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 blah. They all got cishet white men at the house, so it's like, bro, it's like shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's like I respect the message, but you're full of shit. You don't even believe your message because according to you, that's the fucking. Like I don't care. Date whoever you want, but don't talk shit. Don't be constantly.
They're racist supremacists.
Don't be constantly telling me we need to fear these people, and then every day I got to see you hold hands with this motherfucker. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, you still hold hands with them.
Yeah, like don't try to paint them as your mortal enemy, but then at the same time you over here getting married and having kids and shit. Like nah, bro. Like don't even hit me with that nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, like I was gonna ask like about this one statement that I keep hearing like a lot, like I guess in terms of like the male psychology, like they say like nice guys finish last. Like is that like actually true or?
Yeah, it's facts. That's facts. And I mean, unfortunately, there are some situations like in which I just test it out. Like I just test it out like for like it's absolutely true. Like in situations where I try to be nice and I try to be even keel and respectful, I not only do I end up not getting what I want, but the fucking person doesn't even like appreciate it and thinks I look weak. When I just go ahead, dictate the terms and explain to them what's going to happen, I get far better results. And I'm not even talking about people that I'm currently dealing with. I'm talking about with like exes. Like it's insane. It honestly makes me sad because I do enjoy being a nice person. I do enjoy being a gentleman, but that shit just don't work. And maybe like with people that I like don't have any interest in, that might work. But people that I actually like want to be around, that I'm attracted to, the whole being a gentleman, it doesn't work. And it sucks, but it sucks, but it's the truth. It's truth. They appreciate it more when you're just straightforward. Here's what I want. Here's what's gonna happen. Blah blah blah. They appreciate the shit, and you can see examples online in your regular life. Like it's just, like I said, it doesn't matter how horrible it actually is. And the professor that I heard use the Hiroshima Nagasaki example, and there's more examples from slavery and other shit, but that's the truth. It doesn't matter how horrific it is, as long as it seems like power. As long as other people either want to gravitate toward it or fear it, you will get some play. And anybody who denies that is either the one special unicorn case, or they're just fucking lying to themselves, trying to seem self-righteous for no reason.
That's all that I asked.
Like every time, because in the reason, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just gonna say this point.
Yeah.
Every time I've been told, like literally, I was literally out with someone and we were at a restaurant and we talked about this and she fucking laughed but told me I was right. She sat there and described to me the type of dude that she claims that she wanted, right? I literally said, number one, you've never been with that type of dude in your life and you know it. And number two, you would hate it if I was that. She fucking laughed her ass off, but she said I was right. I'm like, thank you. Why are we lying here? You don't like nice motherfuckers. You don't want no nice.
Want guys that are gonna like abuse like your life and make you feel like that you're under them, like.
No, it's not abuse. It's not abuse. It's just a sense of control. Like last night I was over someone's house, and I did something that was like bad. Like not bad, but like I know I got up too abruptly and I think I woke her up. I literally said sorry 2 times in a row. She's like, if you say sorry one more time, I'm gonna kick you out. I'm like, God damn.
Wait, who was this?
I was just some chick. I was over her house yesterday, and like I said sorry too many times, and I'm like, see, I'm constantly reminded I can't be I can't be fucking nice. Like I can't. That shit don't work.
So being a formal gentleman equals being disrespectful. Yeah, like I can't take women seriously like that. I cannot take like a woman seriously like that.
And I'm not taking it seriously. I'm not at all. But it comes off as weakness. It does. And I was like, it keeps shocking me that I keep seeing it. It keeps happening. Like, I gotta remind myself. I can't be fucking. It sucks. Because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to being like a kind of a nice, person-ish sort of. But yeah, no, that's just what it is. But hey, that's my personal experience. Don't use that to extrapolate onto everyone because everyone is their own individual. I'm just talking about across the board.
Yeah, like for me, like I just came from like a strict family background, so like I've never really disrespect anybody unless they disrespect me. But like 9 times out of 10, I don't associate with like the women that are wanting men that want to abuse their lives. Like I'm not that type of person, and if anything,
I mean, it's temporary. So like eventually the shit goes away, and then they,
yeah, like it's not gonna benefit like the psyche for a man or like a woman.
But that's the thing. That's the thing too. You never want to be in a position of the person that is like the quote unquote safe choice. Like okay, now I've had all my fun. Now I'm ready for something serious. So now let me find someone who I think is safe. That dude ain't safe at all. That dude is gonna wind up at 50% of fucking 50 to 60% of divorces or whatever. Cause you don't get no respect for it. You don't get no respect. You don't get no respect for it. You just there's like he thinks that it's safe. Who's okay? Now I'm finished with that life. Time to transition onto the safe life. You were never really the first choice. That's why one important question I ask, and this is very important. One important question I ask, like depending on the age of the person, like of course if the person is in this age range, I don't ask them this question because it's obvious. But I always ask in between the ages of 16 and 24, would you still be attracted to me? And if the answer is no, I don't take them seriously at all. If the answer is yes, then we can work with something. But like I said, like one of these days like previously I was dealing with a 20-year-old. I obviously didn't answer that question because fucking 20, so duh. But that's just something that I ask, and it's important that I know that information because I figure in between those ages, you have the most options because that's when everything is best, like weight, like skin, etc. Just based on I guess fucking science and statistics, like. Between that age range is when you're going to get all your fuck shit done. If you're going to do a bunch of drugs, you're going to decide the kind of person you are. If you're going to go to college, you're not going to go to college. You're going to pick up any bad habits. It's going to be in there. So when you have the most options in between that part of your life, I want to know, would you still be, attracted to me? Because people are only as faithful as their options. If they pick you when their options are plentiful, you probably have a solid thing going. If they pick you when the options are kind of that might not be what you want. But again, I'm not telling you or anybody else what to do. I'm just going through my own personal thought process. These are things that I need to feel secure, and these are things that I need personally if I'm gonna like try to do something serious. If I'm not doing anything serious, I don't care about none of that shit. I'm only there for one thing and one thing only. But when it comes to things that are serious and long lasting, I gotta know that even like I said, when your options are plentiful, when you have everything going on, would you still be me? Because if the answer is no, then it's not genuine. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Eventually, y'all gonna get tired of it.
Yeah.
That's why it's important. That's why it's important to do a little bit of a comparison. Like I said, if she's past a certain age, that's why it's important to do a little bit of a comparison between you and previous other people. Like if you're like the fucking polar opposite of everyone she's ever been physically attracted to, that's a red flag. Like if she's used to dating fucking NFL players and then all of a sudden like you were like fucking the size of Floyd Mayweather, that might be a problem. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like dude, like dude, like look at Floyd Mayweather. You think Floyd Mayweather would even be touching the kind of women he's touching now if he didn't have that money?
No.
Of course not. He's a fucking five fucking. He's 5'5" and got no hair most
If
of
he
the
never
time.
had his father, he would never be, in the position that he's in.
All I'm saying, dog.
Like
That's all
he
I'm
never, like, it's just that, you know, like a shout out to Ricky Williams, but men move a certain way. Guys that are strong minded always win in life, but the ones that are weak minded, they always turn to the dumbest things ever. But people still think they're the right people to listen to when they're clearly not.
And it's
So
crazy. And the shit is fucking insane to me because people will often say, well, opposites attract. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's absolutely correct. But then when it's like, but then like when someone specifically like when a man's perspective on things completely differentiate from that of woman, people will be like, oh my god, that's insane. It's like, but opposites attract. You're supposed to disagree on a lot of fundamental shit because fundamentally, not only are you different, but your life experiences are going to be vastly different. Your life experiences are how you interpret and how you move through life are going to be different. Because let me tell you, if like there's a dude who like perfectly lines up and believes everything that like another chick believes, and he's not like gay or anything. I'm giving you a lot of fucking side eye. I'm giving you a lot of side eye, and I'm questioning that because it's like, especially if the dude's black. I'm like, how? Like, what do y'all have in common? Like, what lived experience could y'all possibly have where you absolutely believe everything hook, line, and sinker that's there? Like you agree on every point. Like, how? How? I mean, maybe if it's for a commercial, or maybe if it's like to get a job or something, or maybe if it's to like make a conversation easier, or just to not be publicly scrutinized or whatever. But like, I don't know. That's just not me, man. Like, life is too fucking short. I'm not gonna like, oh my god, you said this. Like, okay, well, disagree and fuck off. Like, just disagree and fuck off, and then go test my theory out in the fucking real world. Nobody cares.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just like disagree. You can respectfully disagree. Like what I'm saying is not fact. It's just my personal, how I personally perceive the things before me, how I personally perceive my environment, and it's combined based on my lived experience and things that I've observed. So that's just me. But me personally, we're supposed to disagree. Like this is something that people don't. We're supposed to disagree. We're not supposed to force ourselves to
yeah. If everybody agreed on the same thing, like this whole world would be really boring.
exactly. It makes things more interesting. We're supposed to be able to learn from each other's differences
Hence
and
why
come
communists
together
are stupid.
and live with them. The whole purpose of diversity is, a bunch of conflicting factors coming together and making something more productive. It's not just, oh, well, you stay over there, because it's like, oh, you're never gonna get anything done. You're never gonna get anything done like that. Like, they just so shitty. And then it's funny because then people will come to these realizations like 20 years from now. Then they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't know why I was living that life for so long. That's really not what I wanted. Da, 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 da. It's like, yeah, no. You know how many times I've heard that? Like, just in my experiences of these past like 6 months. How many times? Oh, yeah, when I was that age, I thought this, but now I think that. It's like, yeah, no, exactly. Walking into a fucking trap. You're gonna get older
Just being
and
like a
realize,
low life loser, just being like,
yeah,
oh well, I don't need to work as hard. Like I don't need to create generational wealth.
like you can,
Like I just sit on
you
my
can
ass and get free handouts.
like you can tell that a lot of people are like socialized by TikTok and the internet. I'm just like, oh, none of that bullshit is real. Those people don't live those lives. I knew from a young age that people were full of shit. Like, okay, my cousin loves Beyonce, right? She thought she was Beyonce for the longest time, right? And I love Beyonce too. Beyonce's fantastic. I knew that shit was weird, and I knew to only pay attention to how people really live their lives because Beyonce made like $1 billion marketing all this, go girls, get it, single ladies, blah blah blah. She did all that She been married for how long? To the same nigga for how long? I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah, Beyonce.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they don't really be living those lives for real. Like, look
Yeah,
at
she's
Cardi
so
B.
like irrelevant.
No, I'm just saying, like, she's intelligent. She knows how to take advantage of fucking lane. Like, look at Cardi B. Cardi B advertises all this, go, get it, do whatever you want to do. That's right.
Degenerate bullshit.
She's been married for how long? She's a fucking whole wife and mother. She doesn't really be out there doing that shit no more.
Setting a bad example for your children that's gonna end up being criminals.
Like, look at what, and also, I mean, let's do a male example to even it out, because I know people are probably gonna be like, oh my god,
The baby, Little Dirk.
you're
You know,
yeah. So let me. No, I'm gonna do a good male example.
You know
A
who's
male
already
ex-
been dead?
No, I'm gonna do a good male example. A male example of this shit is what's his name? Sugar Free. Sugar Free.
Yeah. Sugar Free. He's so stupid.
This nigga lived his whole life rapping about being a pimp and not respecting women and blah blah blah, and living your life and fucking as many hoes as possible. This nigga just got married. So it's like you can't be listening to people like you like I said, if the words don't line up with the actions, you cannot trust those motherfuckers. They don't have your best interest at heart. They don't have your best interest at heart.
Yep.
I never give people advice or talk about, or like, I never give people advice. Like, this is one of the experts. All I talk about is how I personally do things, and you can take from that from what you will. Because I'm not an expert. I know very little about a lot of different random shit, but a lot of it doesn't even matter. But all I can operate on is my learned experience and the things that I observed in real time. In addition with whatever I decide to read or write or ingest from people that are smarter than myself. That's it. But the reality is, a lot of this is bullshit. A lot of this is socially engineered bullshit by a group of people whose insecurity just spread out over time. Like shit, even when I was in Santa Cruz and I had to read a lot of the material that they were prescribing, especially when it came to social relations. A lot of them would be like members of the LGBTQ community. And I'm like, hold on, how are these people? How is this particular group fit to talk about heterosexual relations, and that's not even something that they are familiar with? Like it's vice versa as well. Like when people that are hetero try to write like LGBTQ philosophy, I'm like, what frame of reference are you fucking speaking? You know that shit. It's fucking weird. It's kind of like when you come across like people who write a bunch of feminist shit and they're either lesbian or they're married. It's like, hey, what? So you're telling people to prioritize? You're telling these people to prioritize work and schooling, but your only job is to write this book, and you've been a housewife for how long? It's like, oh my god, like just fucking stop.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is fucking quit, brother. Like, just stop.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely like agree. It's just that, like we talked about earlier, like I just think like most young adults in the world now are very degenerate and very irresponsible. So, I mean, with the ones that are actually holding it down, like myself and probably some good others out there, that's just like the type of lifestyle that we have to deal with, because these people ain't gonna be remembered for anything good. So all these.
I'm sorry. The thing is too, I don't even mind the degeneracy. I don't mind degeneracy. It's great. It's a great sales tool. It's enjoyable. And I'm sure if it makes you more comfortable to perform that, you should do that. All I'm saying is live in your truth and be honest. Don't try to be degenerate and then try to criticize other folks. Like, no, you stay over there and do your shit. It's kind of like whenever, it's kind of like for example, we'll be on Twitter, right? I'll see OnlyFans chicks attacking escorts, and I'm like, wait, what the heck? I'll be like, no.
Bitches, man.
I'll be like, no, you don't get to attack. First of all, you're both sex workers, so that's not fair. Second
Yep.
of all, you don't get to attack anyone. That woman has made the same, or that person has made the same decisions as you. She prefers to provide in-person services. You prefer to provide online services. You don't get to judge, and vice versa. You
Do
don't
the
get
same
to-
exact job.
You don't get to
Like-
fucking judge. And in fact, the escort actually has to work harder because she's taking on more risk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand that because me, like I said, I have very healthy respect. I have a very healthy respect for escorts. I think the practice should be legal across all 50 states. I don't understand why it's illegal. It would fix a hell of a lot of problems.
Oh
I
wait,
hope
is that like freelancing prostitutes?
Yeah, it's basically a prostitute. I hope
Oh,
that I hope
Yeah,
that
like it's
prostitution.
not.
I hope that prostitution follows the same path as weed. Weed needs to be legal in every fucking state. So does prostitution. It would solve a lot of fucking.
Yeah, it's a free market exchange. It's not like,
It would solve so many fucking problems.
you're not
like-
hurting nobody. Like you know,
Like,
nobody's getting hurt.
There would be like it was just it used to be legal. It's just like cocaine. Like cocaine was legal at one point. It was fucking medicine. But you know, few people got a hold of the shit, and you know, certain brown countries are making too much money, so they had to go illegalize and shit. But yeah, no,
Prohibition doesn't work. It's
yeah,
been proven.
like they tried to make alcohol illegal, and they were like, you know what, fuck this, we're going to war. They were like, you want to take
Take a
away
look
the
at
cocaine?
history.
Yeah, like you want to take away the cocaine? Okay. You want to take away the whores? Okay, fine. You want to take away the alcohol, nigga? Fuck that. We're going to war.
Like
You're not taking away.
everybody's free to do whatever they want with their own bodies, but like you know, that all goes with you know ownership and being self-sufficient as a autonomous being.
And people are going to do it anyway. Like the sex workers that want to be online are going to be online, and the sex workers that want to still perform in-person services because it's higher risk but higher reward, like the sugar baby concepts, like that shit's all happening. So you might as well just make it all legal. You may as well. You may as well. It's going to keep happening. But my point is like I said, I don't mind degeneracy. Just live in your truth and be honest with yourself. Like that's why I'm saying I can't stand when I see OnlyFans workers attacking escorts. It's like it doesn't. Why are you attacking? It doesn't make any sense. She's not doing anything wrong. I mean, if you want to say, well, technically she's breaking the law. Oh, what are you, a fucking narc, bitch? How much cocaine have you done in your life? Shut the fuck up. Like, I can't.
Plus, you can't even justify that because it's like people like do things every single day in the term like people make decisions every day where the state cannot control you, and you know almost every single like attraction that you do in your everyday life would be considered a quote unquote injustice. But it's like you can't tell somebody what they can or cannot do because that's who they are as a person. And like I said about autonomy, everyone's in control of their own lifestyle. So that's all, you know, like a part of like you know natural decision making in general out of what the human psyche.
Right. You know, yeah, and like I said, I just don't like the fraudulence. I don't like the fraudulence, and I don't like the false I don't like the false moral high ground. Like and you know, and it's always the people that act super squeaky clean, and it turns out they ain't shit either. Like, and it's weird. Like people, like when people look at me and they hear me talk, they think I'm like this horrible person. But the reality is, I haven't done like anything. Like I've never done cocaine, and the worst thing, like I've never done any like super hard drugs. And the worst thing I've ever done in my life is get like a speeding ticket. Like outside of beating some people up that fucking deserved it, and like some other low level shit. Like I've never been to jail. Right. I've never been to jail, and like anything. I'm like the fucking sweetest, like softest dude ever. You know, I fucking shoot guns, I smoke cigars, and every now and then I get into some shit I'm not supposed to, but I managed to get my way out without hurting anybody. But it's funny because it's always the people that pretend to be super squeaky clean. And let me tell you, so real quick before, because I want to talk about Anthony Yard's bitch ass before we go. So I gotta talk about him. So this chick I've been dealing with like for just a little bit, right? She like shit. I'm trying not to say too much. So she's leaving her job in education to go work for some private some private company or whatever. That's all I'm saying about it. And she teaches math. So she teaches math, right?
Yep.
I was talking to her and she was kind of coming at me like I'm some like bad person or whatever. And I'm like, that's fine. But then she tells me this, like, so she does that. She has like a daughter or whatever. She's like, if you looked at her, she'd seem like the most innocent, peachy clean person. She was worried about a drug test, and she like literally 3 weeks prior, she was fucking at a party doing cocaine.
Wow.
She's a well respected member of the community. She teaches. She got a daughter. She got a new job, and it's all good. She's over here still doing cocaine. It's like, and then I'm like, and bitch, you're trying to judge me? Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Well, this is like a girl that that you were talking with.
Yeah, we're casually dating, but it's funny. Like it's always the ones that try to act super squeaky clean. And I'm like, look at you, look at yourself.
Yeah.
You were like, no, like real life. Like she was trying to come at me hard because I had some fucking opinions, but you over here fucking partying like it's 1999 in Colombia. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. I am the squarest nigga on planet Earth, and because I have some fucking opinions, motherfuckers think I'm fucking Scarface or some shit. Like, oh, it's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Oh yeah, I'm living my best life and doing all this. I'm like, man, that's why I don't even take people fucking serious no more. You start peeling back the layers of the softest person you know, you're gonna find some bullshit. You're gonna find some bullshit. It's like when like you be seeing on the internet women talking about, okay, I'm celibate. Okay, well, after how much dick though?
Yeah.
Like you're fucking 30, you're 37 with 3 kids talking about I'm celibate. Okay, cool. After how much dick though?
37 with 3 kids, but yeah, you're still depressed.
You see it all the time. Like, oh, I'm a hardworking person. I have 2 children. I'm not here for sex. What the fuck? Okay.
But yeah, they say single men are more depressed than people that have children. Like,
it's like after 2 years now, sex is off the table.
I don't know, but like all I know is that if I find me like a good woman, it's somebody that already has like a good financial lifestyle.
It's just
I'm gonna have one, but
for me, it's the lack of consistency. It's the lack of consistency. One plus one gotta equal 2. Like the lack of consistency, the phony moral high ground, and just like I said, when I catch motherfuckers and 1 plus 1 don't equal 2, I'm just oh god, I can't even like we can be cool, but I'm never gonna share any like important information with you. We're never gonna really talk regularly. There's never gonna be a situation where I'm trusting you with anything because look, you can't even be honest with yourself. So I know you can't be honest with me. Fuck out of here. Like it's not I don't hate you. I just don't fuck with you. It's very simple. I'm not like a bad person. I don't go out of my way to like do bad things. I don't hate you. I just don't fuck with you. Go away. Like I prefer not to do that.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
but
and sometimes I'll be honest, like I don't know, maybe it's just like the wave I give off, but sometimes people will misinterpret my indifference to them as hatred. It's like, no, I do not hate you whatsoever. It's just your existence does not affect me, so I'm not going to be like overly concerned. Like sometimes like when I stop talking to people, or like I'll stop texting, or I'll do something. I was like, I don't hate you. I want to do something else. I'm not with this.
yeah. I was gonna ask like about that Anthony Yard situation, like what happened with him.
So Anthony Yard, this motherfucker, he fights someone that we have no idea who this person is, but I think he cleared him in like 5-6 rounds, something like that.
Yeah, he knocked him out in 3. That's what I heard.
Oh shit! Okay, yes, there's something like that. Yeah, so Anthony Yard is gonna get ran over like a fucking truck by Better Vehicle. Yeah, and the people that are picking Anthony Art to do something, I'm not sure what you're basing this off of. I don't know what you see in Anthony Art, but Anthony Art has never been good. He does not demonstrate any significant skill set, and I think he's going to get beat the fuck up. And there's nothing that people can do or say to convince me otherwise. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's going to be good. I think he's going to get in there, no matter how old Better Biev is. He's going to fucking lose. He's going to fucking lose. He's going to get knocked out. He's not going to be it.
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, it made like no sense for him to stay active against a guy that you don't know if he could have came in and tried to like beat you up so bad. But even though that he smoked him, it's like you being prepared with like a low level guy for Better Bureau is just a recipe for disaster. Because it's like, why not just take all that time off to be ready for Better Bureau instead of wasting time to be active, and then you could just fight Better Bureau off the jump.
Anthony Art is 31 years old. He's only had one significant fight, which was with Sergey Kovalev, and he fucking lost by knockout.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure at this point he's trying to be active for the sake of not only his legacy but for money. Because 2019 he fought twice, which was good. 2020 he fought 3 times, which was including a loss to Lyndon Arthur. In 2021 he only fought twice, and in 2022 he's only fighting once. So he's trying to, be more active because he hadn't fought this entire fucking year. He
didn't fight for like 11 months.
Yeah, so he's just trying to not fight Better Biev off of a fucking layoff, and he needs to get back in shape because his ass is big stuff. So yeah, I mean, like people look at his record, they're like, oh, he has 25 fights, 23 wins, and 22 knockouts. And I said, who's he been knocking out? And it's like, look at these niggas. We've never heard of any of these fucking people. Like his best win right now is Lyndon Arthur, and who the fuck is that? Who the fuck even is that?
Yeah, he's not even like talked about it anymore.
Yeah, Lyndon Arthur is a nigga that has accomplished nothing. His best win is Anthony Yard, and he's only famous for then subsequently losing to Anthony Yard. So these are dudes who have never held titles. He's 31 himself, accomplished nothing. 21 fights. I'm sorry, Anthony Yard's gonna get his ass beat, and there's nothing these niggas can do. Like he's never been good. That Lions in the Camp bullshit. Yeah, no, he's gonna get destroyed. It's gonna be funny. I'm gonna laugh, but yeah, like no, I hope his corner doesn't do that Lions in the Camp shit, and when Better Biev starts destroying his ass, they throw in the towel because he's gonna get severely harmed.
Yeah, I think Yard is gonna get permanently damaged.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be bad. Yeah, he's gonna get ran. He's gonna get run over. He's gonna look like he got hit by a fucking truck.
Yeah, speaking of which, I think that's gonna be the same thing with Regis Prograis and Jose Zepeda. Like, I think Regis is just gonna hard stomp him.
That is a much closer fight because Jose Zepeda does have some power and he's made some skill improvements in between fights. But I do think Regis is going to win, and I think Regis should be able to knock him out. But like I said, Regis has no choice but to win because Regis been talking about he the big bad boogeyman that everybody's been avoiding. So like, okay, then you better get in here and show out, nigga, because you've been talking all this bullshit. Talking about, oh, nobody wants to fight me, blah blah blah, blah this and that. But meanwhile, then fucking Zepeda beats you. Like you gonna look stupid. So he has a lot riding on this fight.
I mean, if Zepeda beats him and Subriel Matias says, like, let's just say Subriel Matias and Gary Antoine, get titles, like. I could very well see Zepeda just being like, oh well, I'll fight Subriel, but no, like Gary Russell, he's a good fighter, but that fight got to build up more.
Nah, if Zepeda wins this, he's gonna get fed to Josh Taylor and probably get decision because Josh Taylor has the WBO, so that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna make the unification. But Jose Zepeda is gonna be so far up top ranks ass. He'd never fight fucking Matias. He'd never fight any of those other dudes. Nah, if Zepeda gets this, they're immediately gonna have
Top rank versus PBC Road to Undisputed.
Nah, if Zepeda gets this bullshit, they're gonna have fucking Taylor, the winner of Taylor versus Catterall or whatever. Probably Taylor win again because he's still a top rank. They're gonna have the winner versus Taylor versus Catterall fight Zepeda, have Zepeda lose, and then that person's unified again. They're not gonna man, please, Zepeda not gonna fight no fucking Matias. Matias will knock him the fuck out. He's not gonna do that. Zepeda's not even good. Like I said, This
Yeah, Zepeda, he's just
This is the same
yeah.
guy. This is the same guy that got knocked down 5-6 times by fucking Baranchik. Baranchik is horrible. So it's like all Jose Cepeda can tell somebody about is being tough, having a decent chin, and some punching power. But that's it. Like, come on, bro. Like, look at this. And then this and then he lost to Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez is not that great. He lost to Terry. He got knocked out by Terry Flanagan. And we're like, bro.
Yeah, a guy that's not even like a 140 pounder.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
You just lose to lesser opposition. Yeah.
exactly. Like, the people are like big up, like, oh, like even fucking Jose Ramirez, he got goaded off of a hooker win, and then he got the shit beat out of him by Josh Taylor. And everyone's like, oh, he's not that great. And then he struggled with fucking Pedraza. So it's like, I said, they just be certifying any damn body. Like I said, it's a good fight for Regis because he's been taking some time off from good competition. But like I said, he better come back and smoke this dude, or he gonna look dumb. He gonna look stupid out here in these streets.
Yeah, like I hope Regis wins, but something tells me that Zepeda's gonna get gifted a decision.
Why you say that? They're not. It's not even on like top rankings. They're calling Mark Nation or some dumb shit. I only know because it's being held in Carson, California.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, like I guess all the judging should be fair. So I mean, Regis should get like the victory. It's not like, you know, he's in like the bad, you know, stage of his career. So I think skill wise, he still got it.
Regis better get in there and knock him the fuck out.
Yeah,
If
he gotta
does,
stop him.
he better knock him out, or he better do like a ridiculous ass whooping in decision. Because if he gets in there and does anything less, he's gonna look stupid. He's like, oh my god, everyone's been avoiding me. No one wants to fight me. You couldn't even beat Jose Zepeda. Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, and keep in mind, Jose Zepeda, 35 wins, 27 knockouts, only 2 losses, 1 by stoppage and 1 by decision. But I'm gonna tell you, if you get in here and Terry Flanagan knocked Jose Zepeda out in 2 rounds. So
2 rounds?
2 rounds. He knocked him out in round 2. So if Regis get in, like, I'm not saying that Jose Zepeda hasn't made some improvements, but if Regis get in here and struggle and look crazy,
Yeah, 140 is not gonna be his division.
Yeah, because honestly, I think, to be honest, like, I think Tank could come up to 140 and fuck with Regis, but that's just me. That's just me. You know, I could be wrong, but Regis on paper is the better fighter. I mean, he got a decision against Terry Flanagan, so you know, I guess that counts for some shit.
Oh wait, he actually fought Terry Flanagan?
Yeah, he fought him and he beat him. So
Oh.
he's the better fighter. He beat someone clean that knocks Zepeda the fuck out. So he should be able to get in there with that. And keep in mind, Flanagan is not even a knockout puncher. Flanagan has more decisions than he has knockouts. He has 20 decisions with 14 knockouts. So
Yeah, so he's a non-puncher.
yeah, and he knocked Jose Zepeda the fuck out. So like, let's not pretend Jose Zepeda is some fucking ultimate badass because he smoked fucking because he smoked Jose Vargas' young ass. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jose because he still thinks he still got it in boxing, but I'm just sitting here like, nah, dude, like you just gotta give it up, man.
Yeah, him and Baranchik are insane. Like, I see Baranchik training again. I'm like, I don't like, y'all are both gonna die. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what's going on there.
What he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're going on, but yeah, I see them both still training, and I'm like, all right, good luck, y'all.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time until something bad happens.
Yeah, well, I wish them the very best, but I don't think that this particular sport is gonna be good. This is what I'm talking about. These are 2 dudes that are short. They don't have a lot of charisma. They don't have a lot of connections, and boxing isn't for them. But they don't have another choice, and they don't want to work a 9 to 5. And all they know is boxing. This is another perfect example. These 2 dudes exactly. All Baranchik is going to do is go back to Russia. He don't want to go back to Russia or wherever the fuck it is he's from. So he's going to stay here and get knocked out 100 more times just to stay here. And this goes back to the beginning of the show. These are realities that Ryan Garcia like doesn't want to go through. He doesn't want to go through getting knocked out a bunch of times He doesn't want to be in a position where he either has to get his ass beat or get a regular job and lose all this money and fame and all the hoes and all that shit. He doesn't want to do that. So he's gonna try to,
Branch out.
he's gonna try to like pretend he's gonna try to use all these people's names to hype his name up, keep him getting paid and keep him getting modeling deals without actually having to fight any of them.
I mean, he's already rich. You know, he got like the Gatorade sponsorships and all that.
Yeah, and he got the Gatorade sponsorship by constantly whining about Tank. I'm gonna fight Tank. I'm gonna fight Tank. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Gatorade. Yeah. But he's
And Nike
he did-
sponsors them, and then all these like big tech corporations. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he's doing modeling with Guess. He's doing like cologne and different shit. Well, yeah, he's gotten all this by talking about Tank. Has he ever fought Tank? Nope. He hasn't fought Tank once.
And then if the fight does happen and he gets blown out as we expected, then does that mean he loses all of his money?
No, I mean, once you have an endorsement deal, it goes the length of the contract, or the company that's endorsing you has to drop it. So if he doesn't go on to fight Tank, he can keep these endorsement deals as long as they decide to keep him. Like, they're not invested in boxing; they're invested in Ryan Garcia because they don't have him. Like, they'll have him do some commercials related to boxing, but they don't give a fuck who he fights. They just want him to represent their brand. So So if he doesn't fight Tank and they don't drop him, that's money he now gets to keep without having to fight Tank, even though he got the money based on the possibility of fighting Tank.
Yeah, I agree.
And that kind of behavior is why a lot of fighters figure, if this bitch doesn't have to do it, why do I have to do it? It's back to the iPhone. It's back to the iPhone metaphor. I look better than that bitch. Why do I have to work hard to pay my bills when she gets to pay all her bills on an iPhone? It's the same with the fighters. They're like, I'm better than this motherfucker, so why should I have to? Why should I have to work hard and fight dangerous fights when he doesn't have to? He hasn't fought anyone.
Yeah, but if you win the lottery by tomorrow, then most people would say, "Well, fuck working. I'm just gonna blow that money and basically live off of it."
Exactly. And currently he's hitting the lottery every fucking year. Every year he mentions Tank, he gets richer without having to fight Tank. So why would I fight Tank?
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Just like what Crawford's doing.
I be trying to explain basic business to niggas, but everybody think I'm crazy until what I said happens, and then like 6 months from now they just repeat the same shit that I said. I'm like, I already said this. Like, he's getting wealthy by mentioning Tank's name, but not having to fight him. Why would he turn around and fight him all of a sudden? Because then when he loses, it's gonna lose the what if factor.
Yep. It just all plays on.
Yeah, it's gonna lose the mystique. It's gonna lose the mystique. It's gonna lose, like, oh, the what if they fought? No, they're gonna already fought. He will have lost, and then it's gonna be like, well, that's over.
Yeah, but I think that's about it for the show. This has been a really good conversation, and like, we got to do this again.
Oh, teach me one more point that I didn't address in the conversation. So the only part I didn't see was hit the Oscar then. But then again, I can put him aside that kind of fight. Teach, contract, Oscar, you mean Delaware? Yeah, I mean, that was my thing. That was like, I was born in the 90s and my dad was telling me stories about that. But you can go back and look at it. But unless you know Oscar Valdez is actually from Mexico, so they do not hate him because he's actually from Guadalajara. Oscar De La Hoya, again, that nigga is from East LA. He's from the fucking barrios of East LA, so he doesn't have the same connection to the land. But like I said, thank you for having me on. It has been fun. Yeah, so y'all like and subscribe.
And most definitely, like, I'll chop it up with you again, and hopefully, that the new news can be broken out soon.
Yep, for sure.
All right. I'll talk with you later.
All right, later.
Yep. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to D-Hive for coming through. And, man, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Salute to the mighty LDBC TWT family. And I am out.